We try and stream every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, but sometimes we don't make it. It's a thing. It's a setup. So tonight we're playing Burning Wheel. Burning Saratof is the name of the campaign. This is a game of political intrigue in the wake of the assassination of the God Emperor Kardava, and like what happens when the God Emperor dies. Well, this whole series is kind of designed to be a glimpse into the aftermath of a God Emperor's death. We are using the Burning Wheel role-playing game system by Luke Crane, and I'm joined by two players tonight, and I will invite them to introduce themselves.
I'm Jesse Keeter, he, him, playing Televin Crane, also he, him, business magnate, in touch with the goings-ons, very reliable sort.
Good to know.
Nice.
Hello, I am Lexi the First, she, her. I play Farina Atta, who is also she, her. She is the consul of the Penal Code, very devout and highly ranked worshiper of Set. And she's going to keep this kingdom together no matter who she has to kill to do it.
Yeah, love that.
For the good of everyone.
Yeah,
she's such a warm heart. It's what I love the most about her, honestly.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about safety. In my games, there will be no sexual assault or violence against children. If an NPC hates you, it won't be because of your skin color, your sexual orientation, or your gender identity. If a topic comes up you're not comfortable with, let me know by using the X card, crossing your arms. If it seems easy to correct, we will do so and move on. If it seems complex, we'll take a break. We can address problematic topics with either lines or veils. Lines are topics that we don't want in our story at all, like the aforementioned. Veils are topics that can come up, but we just won't get into details, like sex scenes. We just cut to waves crashing on the beach and trains going through tunnels, that sort of thing.
Saxophone music.
Saxophone music. Do you understand these tools?
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable that these are sufficient?
Yes.
Very much.
All right. Well, if something comes up, be sure and X-card me. All right. Since we are playing Burning Wheel, and Burning Wheel is all about beliefs, we are going to start with reviewing and updating your character's beliefs. And I will remind you that now you're becoming more and more experienced Burning Wheel players, I'm going to try and nudge you towards actionable beliefs. And by the way, creating a belief is a great way to kind of create world information too. You can invent an NPC in the context of a belief. You can, now it might turn out that your belief is misguided, but
not in my eyes.
Exactly. You believe it. So maybe it's true. Maybe. And I would also say that beliefs tend to be more like a goal. The word belief is a good word in the sense that it's something you're passionate about, that you believe very deeply. But think in terms of how to structure a belief, think of it as a goal. And if it's a really big goal that would take sessions and sessions to do, try and come up with an intermediate goal that you could conceivably, if I just let you run wild, you could conceivably finish in one session. Okay, so we're going to start with what your beliefs were in the past, the last time you played. So Televan, your beliefs were, my past doesn't haunt me, I haunt my past. I will find who in the Senate has been undermining me. That's a belief. You had a belief, manners will get me anywhere. I will gain an audience with Set.
Yes.
I'm looking for Lexi's reaction on that. No. And the third belief is, I will get revenge on the psionic interrogator who mocked me.
That was recently added.
Recently added, right.
You wrapped up in that?
No, actually.
Okay.
No, she was also interrogated.
Whoa. Are you two talking to each other? Whoa. Characters like,
as far as you know,
player
characters in a scene, but it hasn't.
As far as you know, her official job has nothing to do with that. No.
Okay.
But she was in support of the interrogations happening, and she was publicly supported.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. Right.
Fair.
Would you like to, are you happy with those beliefs?
I feel like that's going to get me, I feel like an audience with Set is maybe my big throw, and then I got a couple. Figuring out who's undermining me is going to give me some stuff to pursue closely, and also getting revenge on the interrogator will also give me a closer goal, I think. I think those are fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. And for Lexi, for Farina, your beliefs last time, Set is the order of the world. I will serve Set with all my actions and motivations. Justice is the only way to peace, and fines are not a sufficient punishment. I will increase the severity of punishments in the penal code.
For the Set one, we had specified it to make it illegal to worship other gods.
Jeez. Where I'm from, that's...
She just wants what's best for everyone, and Set is what's best for everyone.
Now, mostly that's true, but not everywhere. So you mean for the rest of Chaldea?
Yeah, for all of Chaldea.
All of Chaldea.
We had a god emperor. Religion was very important.
I know. Playing characters who have the means to enact such sweeping goals is just... We're high level.
Yeah.
We are high level.
And the third one you had was people are inherently bad and selfish. Everyone needs firm control and guidance.
So I did have one that's more actionable to replace that.
Sure.
And that is prevent, I don't remember how to pronounce this, Quar, Q-U-A-R?
QAR, but yeah.
Prevent Car from becoming emperor.
Okay. Just to fill everybody in, Quar is a demigod of Set, who has recently visited Farina and Holsan, who's the high priest of Set, the Membet of Set for Chaldea, and has announced to the two of you very discreetly that that's his goal. So you're setting yourself at odds with this new demigod of Set.
Yes. Not out on the outside.
Well, no, right. You're secretly scheming. In your mind, you're scheming
She's
against
like, I don't think
Car.
this person is actually...
He's very handsome. I mean, he could, No, I get it.
No, I think he could. I don't think that he is.
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk you out of that. I think that's an excellent goal. I want to remind you of two mechanics that you can use to, in Burning Wheel, to sort of... create circumstances that help you pursue goals and are not typical in, say, D&D or something like that. One is called a circles mechanic, which allows you to invent an NPC and meet with them. It's very powerful because it gives you this great latitude in terms of, like, I've got a friend, you can say, like, I've got a friend who is in the Psionic Syndicate, or you can invent an NPC in their background, and you kind of, it's always good to kind of come off like, oh, this is truth. Everybody, like, I have this friend, her name is this, and tie her to your background. Like, you can do this on the fly, create an NPC, and meet with them. Now, the circles test it, but then, of course, you roll dice to see if how that person really, if you're able to find them, and how they really feel.
I got kind of burned by a circles test last time from somebody who was a stick in the mud.
Yeah. Remind me, what was that? Oh, yes, I do remember. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't always work. If the DM is boring, then it's a stick in the mud. If the DM is on
dice.
it was on. Yeah, but I should be able to make it exciting, even if you roll badly.
Oh, let's be clear. Excitement isn't what I'm talking about. They didn't give me what I wanted.
I think I'm really more talking about excitement for the audience. Often that is not.
Forget that.
Often the excitement is not what the player character wants. Like, no, they just weren't home. If I'm imaginative and devious enough, I can turn that into something really interesting. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I feel like I got dunked on.
He was dunking on you. He was like, he didn't like you, I think. The other idea, I can't remember. You can Wises. You can use Wises to create world information. So circles is about creating NPCs that you might go meet. Wises are about creating information about the world that you can exploit. Also, remember that if you don't have a skill, you can invent one. You can just come up with it. It's called beginner's luck. It's a lot of fun in this system to just create your own, create a new skill. And wises often fall into that. I think, Ray's character created Zune Wise because Zune is a powerful person on the Council of Consuls. and she's like, I just really want to know everything about this guy. So I'm going to open up a skill called Zune Wise. So you can create anything with anything you want to -wise, which just means it's a knowledge skill about that topic. So anyway, there we are. All right. So before we jump into it, I'm going to, we haven't played actually in a really long time.
It's been a minute.
So coming out of the third Council of Consuls meeting since the Emperor's death, there was a number of consuls who were not in attendance. Hosan was, as you were, but Sybil and Janik also, Sybil, I better write this down, and also Galina and Kashar. Now, you saw Kashar a few days ago, but you haven't heard from him recently.
Sorry, can we list one more time? It was Sybil.
Sybil, who's an NPC. If you've never met, I mean, your character would know Sybil, but you've not seen her since the night Emperor was assassinated.
Okay.
Janik is Tihomir's son, and Galina Vukova is Megan Karaminasser's PC.
The cartographer.
Yes, yeah, and she hasn't been heard from. And Kashar is Bryce's player character, who's...
we got along like gangbusters, me and Kashar.
Yeah.
We were making moves.
You were making moves. And so, also, of course, in the prior Council of Consuls meeting, Garl Steadfast had a heart attack and died.
Yeah.
So, also, I think it's also fair to say that Garl isn't there. Yeah, okay. So it was kind of odd in the sense that, wow, we're the ruling body and like half of us aren't here. It was just, I'm imagining there would have been a little bit of surreal.
Yeah, and I think Farima would have had a conversation with Fatima. As a security consulate that she is, about just like, are we looking for these people? Obviously not the dead one, but the other four.
She had a lively week.
Oh boy! So wait, but she was at the meeting though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes, she was at the meeting. She had a. Word of this would get around. Like, she went to the Forge Park, which is where it's kind of a dwarf ghetto. Like, dwarves are very clannish, but dwarves get kicked out of the clan. Where do they go? Well, there's sort of a ghetto for dwarves who are disgraced, outcast dwarves. And she went down there to rescue one of her henchlings who was there and got in a fight, but kicked ass. And now thinks she's all friends with the dwarves, the outcasts.
Okay.
Who knows how that's going down with the clan dwarves. But anyway, so she... a lot of people are surprised. Like, not everybody keeps track of who everybody else is doing throughout the week. Like, the council meeting is like a nice place. Oh, hey, how was your week? While the empire is burning,
falling apart,
right?
Yeah,
while the empire is falling apart.
What did you do about it?
Yeah, and so there's kind of a general sense of like, where are these? If anybody knows, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Farina definitely would have like been vocal about like, where are these people? Are we looking for them? They're either victims or suspects, clearly.
Way to look at the world.
so nothing comes in nothing's really going to
Yeah.
come up in council about that. You could have a conversation with an NPC about that if you wanted to. Most people are like kind of looking at Zune, like what does he know? And he's stone-faced in council. A couple of, by the way, it is the week of Artisan, which reward the week in terms of the Enumians in the sky and the astrological forces at work. It is the week of the Enumian who rewards those who are masters at their craft, at crafting things, artisans, makers of things. Some of the news that came up in council meeting is that one of the governors, one of the most powerful governors, is not on the Council of Consuls, but is a very powerful legatus and governor named Gustavus, who rules the entire continent of Nisha. He has levied a special tax to raise another legion. And Tarsus is not happy with this. Tarsus doesn't approve of it, and Gustavus is doing anything. So Tarsus is commanding the military, but it's kind of an awkward situation because the Cordava's military, the emperor's army has all these legions everywhere. Well, all the legions swore allegiance to the emperor, and that was the chain of command. All these guys reported to Cordava. Now Cordava's gone. Who's in charge? Well, Tarsus.
As long as we can pay these people, I think everything will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And some of the legions are following Tarsus, are sort of accepting his role as the head of the military, but not all of them are. And there's a couple of legions that have been ordered to, like one legion was ordered to sack Naboki. And when that news comes up, I imagine Bonsai's character is going to react because it's in the kingdom she's from. But I'll be able to tell you about that some other time after I DM her. And there is a kingdom called Griotunagata, which is a Norse kingdom of giants, and the giants are revolting. I mean, I'm going to say they just smell bad. I'm saying they're like there's unrest there, and there are also a lot of, from all over the empire, there are diplomatic envoys, nobility, royalty arriving in Saratof in anticipation of the upcoming Senate and its mission to appoint a new emperor.
And how much time do we have until that Senate at this point?
Oh, that's, it's going to be I would say it's measured in weeks, not days.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And
Because I know one of her big motivations right now is obviously like make sure Carr doesn't get it, but she does want to find someone to support because she knows she's not going to put herself up there. It's not what she's after. But she would like someone. Okay, but she would like someone there who would listen to her, which might be a whole song at this point. It's been kind of weak. That's been fun.
I'm kind of trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you, would you have asked Holsan about this? Would you have
I think so. I think after
By
that
the way,
meeting.
Holsan seems to have come away from the meeting with Carr re-energized. He's back to his old self. You could tell that there is a layer of
But during the meeting,
anguish.
I was able to see that he had a dislike for Carr.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a layer of anguish that you know is genuine. Holsan's has a lot of pain and anguish about the whole thing of his best friend getting killed.
Yeah, yeah.
But he is now channeling that to productive ends.
Okay.
So,
From where I'm sitting on the outside, does it look like those productive ends include supporting Carr's claim to the throne?
you can't tell. He
Okay.
is implacable about that. But he has, he has, so Carr's goal is to eventually become Emperor Cordava, but he knows that he can't win an upcoming Senate vote. Nobody knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
So he's playing a longer game. So in terms of what's going to happen at Senate,
He's not going to put himself up at Senate.
you're pretty sure that Hulsan, you're guessing that Hulsan is in support of Tiamir,
Okay.
but you don't know if that's true.
And he won't talk to me about
You
it
could
if I
ask him.
ask. Okay,
You want
I
it?
would like to, yeah.
You want to ask him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's going to just go up to him and like make sure that no one else can hear them and say, look, this Senate is coming up in 3 weeks, and I need us, in the sense of the church, to be on the same page of who we are supporting, because we need an emperor
Yes.
or empress, but we need a leader, and
Yeah.
we need one that stands strong with Set.
Tiamir. Still. He's the only choice that makes sense. He's got all the political power. He knows how the empire works. He's got time, he's got credibility, and he is a friend of the church.
Very well. It sounds like you have made your choice.
Do you have a different opinion? I mean, we don't want Otani there.
No. I think I agree just on the basis of not being able to think of something better.
Fair. I think we will get a pushback. I think the only
Oh, I know that we will.
I think the only other, the other options, Leanne doesn't have any support in the Senate. She has support of Gustavus, and Emil and Perrin, if they can put aside their differences, those two kingdoms they have a lot of political power outside of the continent of Tamika. But I think our money's on Tiamir.
And are you sure not? I'm sorry, I think you might have already said her name, his daughter.
Leon.
Leon, yeah.
Yep.
And you don't think she's going to get the support needed? People are sentimental. She has
Yes,
that going
she will
for her.
have some support, but not enough. That's my prediction.
Very well.
Also, she is. The problem is that her grandmother Leshka is just reviled, and Leshka has alienated so many people as the emperor's mother, and sort of not really handling that position with grace.
Right.
And nobody knows where Leanne's at.
Very well. Then I suppose the only other thing that I think you and I need to discuss is the security of our temples. And I have been able to discuss things with Fatima, and she has been very agreeable in combining our might to keep peace within the city as necessary.
She's been a good ally here in Saratof.
Yes, and I just think that we need to make sure that we do all we can to maintain that, especially as violence rises.
I agree. We've got a powerful, we have powerful military of our own. That is, and we were caught off guard, and our hands were tied. I was not effective for some
I
time.
am just grateful that I was able to step up for Seth when it was needed.
I am grateful as well. Now, I think that's the last time we're going to talk about it, though.
Oh, of course. There's no need.
I think our grounds are now secured. There are several very important relics that have gone missing, and we need to find out where they are, and we need to get them back.
Of course.
Also, let us not forget what Quar commanded us in our last meeting, which is that we must help Chaldea mourn the death of the emperor.
Oh, of course. I have no issue with that. I think mourning the emperor is a very important part to still reminding them of his importance, the importance of the seat that he held, and why we need to respect the next person to sit upon it as long as they are blessed by Set. I can agree to that extent of his ideas.
Do you wish? I would love for you to take on the task of organizing a ceremony.
What of finding the relics?
You want to work on that?
I think so.
Okay, then.
I think the glamour of the ceremony Carr has in mind may not suit my tastes. I think the good work of finding the relics and getting back what is important to Set suits better for what I do.
Well, we can't rely on old talk. He is in Tashamau. The deserts of Tashamau have turned to blood. The entire kingdom is in a civil war.
Yes, so did our temples here in the city.
Yeah. Okay, well, you work on the relics, and I will work on the preparing a ceremony that will honor our emperor.
Yeah. In Set's name.
Yeah. Yes, that's nice.
Yeah. That's my guy.
Oh, this would be it, right?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
Remember the movie Conan?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
It was
Remember the movie Conan?
Lexi, no,
I know.
you're serious. You never saw the movie Conan?
No.
Snake cults, shirtless Schwarzenegger.
Oh, my God.
Use your imagination.
Lexi, we're going to have a movie
I am
night.
now.
We're going to have a movie night. Yeah, that's
I
a
am
movie
all
night.
about that.
Yeah, movie night. Well,
Dare I ask what year the movie came out?
I was in high school or college, I'm not sure which.
I cannot wait to see this movie.
Well, the point is that the villain was a priest of Set. And Conan seeking his revenge against the priest, and he saw as a child he saw the emblazoned, which is two snakes who face each other.
Oh.
And
You're
anyway.
not implying I'm the villain, are you?
No.
Not me.
No. I'm just
Nothing about what you're
it
doing
was just
is
a snake reference. That's all it was. Yeah.
Not a snake either. Just doing my best. Just trying to help everyone.
Sure.
Based on, as I imagine, you've been a hangers-on around the more important for a while. But I have learned enough that for you as a businessman, would he be someone that would be a helpful resource to go to?
I'd be seeking an audience with you for some time.
That's even better.
I imagine it would not be easy, but I would be pulling every string possible to seek an audience with you.
Okay, so this I think. How about this then? At the end of you just had this conversation with Holsan, sort of on your way out the door, okay, of the last council meeting, and when you were talking to Holsan, everybody else was smart enough to stay away and give you a little privacy. You guys had this little conversation, and you also know that he has magic that he uses so that he can have conversations like this without getting you strapped on, and so he peels off, and you're left with this thought of this thought of looking for relics of Set, and you're kind of looking around the crowd, and you see him.
I think back to you at the buffet table, and as you look up, I just happen to turn. What's your character's full name?
It is Farina Atta.
Council?
Consul, I think, yeah. Consul, right, is the title.
Consul of the Penal Code. Yep.
Farima?
Also senator.
Farina,
She's also senator.
F-A-R-E-E-N-A.
Okay.
And then Atta, A-T-A.
Okay. I would very cautiously kind of looking
Like
for
approaching a snake.
yes, any and all body language that is allowing me to keep taking steps forward. I'm aware of your reputation. I think everybody is, and so I would not presume that unless you give me the signal, I could just approach.
She is not giving you a signal not to,
Okay.
which is pretty good for her.
I would then cut through this room. I am a tall, lithe fellow, immaculately dressed, and I am walking with a cane. But I would come across the room to you.
And when you're leaving a conversation with Karis, of course.
Yes.
So when the person he was hanging out with, who you're like, oh yeah, he knows that guy somehow, there's a consul, the consul of the Great Sea. His name is Claudius Karis, from the Kingdom of Perrin, who we just mentioned, Perrin.
Right.
And anyway, so you know that, you certainly know that, like you've seen him with Karis before.
Okay.
I would very respectfully but subtly bow.
And she's a good height, but she's not, probably not as tall as you. She wears clothes. The material is very fine, but it's very unelaborate. It's very muted colors. There isn't a lot of like embellishment. And then her hair, she has long hair, but it's always pulled back. It's either some sort of bun or braid or something very severe and controlled and contained, just like everything else about her. And she doesn't wear much jewelry, even though she is obviously wealthy to a degree.
And as soon as Holsan, so this guy's coming across the room, but as soon as Holsan is not with you, your chief of staff comes up, and comes up to you before he gets there, and is like, did we ever talk about who's like the chief of?
We didn't talk about chief of staff. We talked about.
Let's figure out who your chief of staff.
Who runs your team?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a go-to. I don't have my person.
Well, I think it's a priestess of Sat, of course.
I'm all about that.
Very, very ambitious.
I'm all about that too. Game recognizes game.
And
She would have to be like stupid loyal though. Like this is my I think she would fall on a sword for me. Or she wouldn't have gotten that far.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very, very loyal.
She is definitely, she brings me the gossip, like she has thrown other people under, like she got rewarded for throwing other people on my staff under the bus. That's how she got that high.
I don't want to work for you at all. And I feel like, however, I'm about to.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that you're not, I think she's very controlling, and so
I love that.
Yeah, and so she is.
I like things under control.
So she just, she starts, getting the lowdown from you about how council went. Starts asking you questions, and she sees you spot him, and she's like, "Oh, I'll take care of this," and then she peels off and comes over to you. Let's see. We got to come up with a good. By the way, she is.
Can I have her invite him back to like my office to talk instead of just like here?
Okay, hold on a second. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Her name is Neil Bala, and she is.
Sorry, can you spell that for me?
NIL-BALA.
Okay.
And she is of Tashmau. She's black, black-skinned human Nubian in our world, what she would be, and so she says, "I'll take care of him." Now, do you say something like? Do you say something to her as she peels off?
Yes, I want to say I don't want to speak to him here. Bring him to my office.
So, you want to speak to this guy? He said,
Yes.
"You don't." Okay. Okay, yeah, in your office. Good idea.
I know.
You don't want to be seen. Good Lord. Okay, so
Way cooler than that.
You can hear this whole conversation. No.
no. It's very quiet. It's almost whispered.
Oh,
but,
and she would also have to be very devout.
Oh, she's very devout.
Yes,
Yeah, very
she's
devout. Yeah,
also very.
for sure. Yeah, she's a priestess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So this woman comes over and intercepts you, and says, "What business do you have with the consul?"
I've been seeking an audience with the consulata for a while. It's been Neil Bala. Your reputation precedes you.
Yeah, I'm the one that's kept you away. Why would you? Why should she speak with you?
Well, it just so happens that I have a very important gift I'd like to give in the name of Set. However, with the city the way that it is, and as difficult as it is to get around, I'd be very, very hard-pressed to talk about it with anyone but the consul herself.
How can I get a hold of you? If she agrees to meet with you, I need to know how to reach out to you. Through Karis? Consul Karis?
No, I wouldn't want to bother the consul with some of this. He's handling many things.
Hey, is your character a senator also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't think so. I have Senate wise. Did I have to become a senator to get Senate wise?
To get in this game, maybe, but
Because I remember there were special rules around it. I just don't have senator written down.
then you probably aren't. You're Senate wise, but oh yeah,
Because senator
backstory.
would have to be one of your.
Yeah, you were a senator. It's a
Okay.
life path. That was a
Yeah, your life path.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's because of your mercantile expertise and background. You are a senator. This is well, senator. If she can make time in her schedule, I'll get a hold of you through the.
I'll just pull out a card. It will have some easy but cool way to get a hold of me.
So actually, at the Senate Discourse, there's an office, there's a chancery where you can get a hold of senators that way. Senators, it's a help desk for senators to get a hold of each other. So she she takes her card, and it just kind of gives you the look over, and then she comes back to you and just starts walking with you back to the temple, and like. You sure you want to meet with him? He definitely wants to meet with you. He's been asking to meet with you for some time, but
I'm sure he has.
He won't say why.
Oh, I'm sure he won't. Yes, I'm certain it could be worth. We'll give him his moment. See what he does
I
with
wouldn't
it.
meet him in the church. Why don't you meet him in the Senate Discourse? I'll set up an office there.
Good idea. Please do.
I would, as soon as I left this conversation with Neil Bala, I would carefully make my way to that help desk,
Yeah.
and I would write a letter and fold it, and on the front of it I would just, in like a very, very simple single line drawing, draw an approximation of one of the symbols of Set.
One of the symbols or one of the relics?
One of the symbols, one of the iconography of Set. What
Okay,
would be like a good...
Yeah. Well, there's the jackal head.
I would draw
It's
like...
not really a jackal. There's a dispute about what animal it really is, right? But
I think a single line drawing then would be even better because it would be a little bit hard to interpret. But it would be that. And it's not with an expert hand. But inside, there would just be... Well, there would be an address. And there would be one sentence. It would probably say something like, "Come alone, Neil Bala is fine." And then there would be an address. I assume you're not going to like actually come alone anywhere, so you can bring your head to staff. But that's what it would say. And the address would be to, I have a small cottage. It's a safe house. However, I realize how creepy this sounds. But this would be an olive branch I would be offering. In that, nobody knows where this place is. And so I am giving you the address to a place I've kept secret.
But I don't know that.
How do you communicate that to her, though?
Because you just gave me a
right?
letter that just has an address written on
I'm
it.
hoping that when...
Feels like
I don't think
murder.
you're going to come pick this letter up. I imagine
Yeah.
Neil Bala
Right.
will.
Yeah.
She might check it. if she does any work, she would know where my business is, where I frequent, where I live. This address would not appear on any of those things. And she would have it. She could go check it out if she
Feels
wanted
even
to.
more murdery. Then no one will know where to find me after you kill me.
Well, I gave it to your assistant. I figured she's going to vet the place. I know your reputation.
So, for Peter the DM, where is this place?
It's just I don't know that we chose a place. It would be in a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
But it's just one of my assets.
Is it your home?
No, this is my my safe house. And so I specifically bought a small cottage for this purpose, to have a place that if I needed to hide, I could. But it wouldn't be in like a dingy place. It would be a very small, nice outskirts of town. The reason being, what I want to, getting around the city, the last time I was carrying what I was carrying was horrible. I'm not going to be able to get it into the Capitol. I'm not going to be able to get it into the church. I have to go to a place. I'm not. I'm not.
You do remember where you left the goods, right?
I think
I don't know that I wrote it down.
that
You left it in the vault at Mark's warehouse.
Okay, so I would need to get them out of that vault and take them to the cottage.
That's where they're at now.
Okay.
yeah, I think Farina could be convinced of that if you first met her
Well,
at the office. I just can't see
you're
her
not gonna
getting this
hear-
note and being like.
You're not going to hear all that. What you're going to hear is Navana's interpretation.
So Neilbana is going to probably still re-offer the office meeting like one more time.
I'd accept
If
it.
all I have is the note with the sketch and the address and that says "come alone,"
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, she's not going.
I would accept the second offer.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Navana's going to get the message. Navana's going to
justify
read
it, I
it, of
can't.
course, and
It's creepy.
She's going to show it to you, and she's like, this guy runs in shady circles. That much I know. I mean, he's a senator, so he's a person of means. He's got to vote. He's got to vote on who becomes emperor next.
And a
so
stake.
you should meet him. But why not just let's just use one of the complimentary offices at the Senate Discourse.
Insist on the office, and then
Yeah.
if this address means something, we can ask him about it there.
Yeah.
And I will have you present for this meeting with the guards posted outside the door.
Yeah. Very well.
Thank you.
All right.
The and I'd
love
actually like to
Navana. She's
request.
great. She's-
Hold on, I want I would like to just scroll back on my notes.
Yeah.
So many notes. No, not you. Where is? I know I got a name. The Nope. Maybe I didn't get a name. It was like a jackal warrior person. She was like really on top of being there with me.
Oh, you're talking about the daughter of Set.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her.
Yeah. You want her to go with you?
I want to request her. Yeah. She was great. She took care of me. She's not going to let this weird merchant
She's
slaughter
badass.
me. Yeah.
She's like seriously like D&D
She's
stats
going to wait
badass.
outside the door, but she's going to
Okay.
be there.
Okay, so
I want her. I don't remember her name. I don't think I wrote it down.
Yeah, I could.
I don't know if I ever got her name, actually. I'm not very nice.
Well, we'll just call her the daughter of Set for now.
Yeah.
That's we all know who that is.
Yeah, I want her.
Yeah, I can do it quick.
Yes. Does that count as? Oh no, she already exists. I guess it's not a circle moment, but I want her.
Okay.
She was great.
Well, she's she's a commander. There's a son of Set and a daughter of Set, and the two of them have armies. Might be too grand of a word, but not by much.
Mm-hmm.
Large military. They each have large military units that.
Oh, so just a one daughter Set and one son of Set?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Was it
Well,
really offensive to her if I asked
But
her
it's
to come
not
with?
like, don't take it too literally. Like you don't know if it's a real like
Right.
you can work up to this position.
Yeah,
So
I
like
didn't realize
there's
it was just the one
there's
and
the
one.
priesthood, which is what you're part of, and then there's the military. In the military, there's ranks: minion of Set, soldier of Set, and greater and
Yeah.
chosen.
So would it be beneath her to ask her to escort me to this meeting?
No.
Okay, then heck yeah. I want her.
Yeah. No. I mean, protecting you is absolutely that's great.
Thanks.
The thing you have in your favor here is that the military arm is to serve the
Got it.
priesthood. So that's I mean, she gets nervous when you go somewhere without her.
I love her so much. Yeah, she comes with me.
Okay, so anyway, let's cut to the scene. It all gets set up. There's the Senate Discord. You have private rooms. They're guaranteed privacy and security, and you'll go there with Nobala.
Yeah, Nabala will be in the room with
Nabala.
me. The daughter set will be outside the door. And I feel like Farina probably got there a little bit early to make sure that she could establish, like, I am hosting this meeting. You are here, like, out of my graciousness. Like, this is not like a mutual meeting of the minds. This is like a hurry and speak. You left me a weird murder message.
Sure. And I play the part. I would show up exactly on time, alone,
Okay,
as I travel that way frequently.
cool.
Yeah, so Nobalana greets you and escorts you in.
Console.
And you see this badass woman who's just obviously warrior, like super powerful, high, like tall,
Maybe she
everything,
growls at you.
armor,
No, I just like
you know.
I like her a lot.
She's in her human form, but even in her human form is
It's
like
so
probably
tall.
8 feet tall, right?
love her.
Yeah.
It's all working for me.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no resistance on my part. So I would come in,
Yeah.
I would greet Nilbala, and then I would say, Consul Atta, I am forever in your grace for accepting this meeting. Thank you.
Yes, well, you made it a little difficult with your strange letter.
Forgive me, I only seek to ensure that what we say is private.
Of course, I understand that. But however, this last council meeting did find us lacking half of our numbers, so you can imagine my caution moving forward.
Of course.
Well, I have actually agreed to this meeting. I'm sure you have requests or something of your own. I would like to discuss the missing relics from the temples during the raids. And it has come to my attention that you just might be useful in reacquiring them.
What makes you say that exactly?
Rumors.
Tell me what you've heard.
I've heard that you move in circles that deal in the less than legal, which is where my relics would be found, because they were acquired in less than legal ways.
Sure. Would it surprise you if I said I anticipated this request?
Probably not. I can't imagine too many others want their hands on something covered in the blood of a priest.
Indeed. Dangerous times we live in.
Very.
Backs against the wall and all that.
Especially dangerous for those who are not sitting right with Set.
You have to understand that the way this empire worked up until very recently was safe and profitable for those in the graces of Set and those who carried his words and orders. People like me covet reliability. Chaos is never good for business in any sense.
Well, it is good to hear that even though your motives may be less than savory, that perhaps we have the same end goal.
I'd guess that you know very little of my motives.
Oh, I think it is for the best of all of us that I remain knowing very little of your motives.
Fair.
Now, the relics. Do you have them? Or can you acquire them?
Neil Baala is taking notes, by the way.
Oh, love her.
I will speak as freely as I can in front of you and your chief of staff, but there are conversations to be had which cannot leave this confidence.
Oh, I understand. Most of what I do remains between myself and Set.
Sure. I would ask that you accompany me to a second location. Forget the address there. Because we decided to meet in this place, I scrapped that plan. But I would like to take you to a place which might be outwardly, more outwardly sleazy,
I will make you this agreement. I will go to this location. If Neobala does not come with us, you don't have to tell her where we're going, but she will know that I left with you alive.
Sure.
And the daughter of Set does come with us.
Fair. You trust this entity?
I trust this warrior, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, as much as Set does.
Then that works for me. From here on out, what happens will be up to you to share with whoever you decide to. Neobala was just a courtesy. I imagine anything that you hear, she hears. So she can stay or go.
Yes, she will be the security so that you know that if I do not return, they will come looking for you.
Fair. Now, where we're going, there's no reason to keep it a secret from anyone who might see us. However, we will be entering an establishment which you might not want to be seen entering. Again, I will leave that up to you.
Set's word goes all places.
Excellent. Shall we?
Very well.
I'd need to go to Mark of Silence's joint.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had time, nor I would have I wanted to risk anything that was in the vault. So I would need to go to this place. However, if you allow me to retroactively ensure that what I need was there before I just take a console there blind, I wouldn't take her there blind.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. So I'm also going on memory here, but I'm
Sure.
pretty sure what I remember is that that you left the relics in a vault at that he promised would be safe.
Okay. That's where we would go. We would
Yeah.
go to Mark of Silence's
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah. Okay. So
So shady. Ooh,
so
exciting.
so Neil Baala is understands her role here. Yep. So and you
And
leave. You
Farina
leave.
will give her a time and make sure you hear this as well. She's like, hey, if I'm not back by this time, send the armies, basically.
Cool.
Right. Okay, great. So you go with the daughter of Set. Who I've already described as.
I want to know
Yeah.
more about you, and I would want to read that in your face and your eyes. So the route that I would choose through the city would be to see how much of it you've seen since the riot.
So I specifically have the trait poker face,
Sweet.
so you can do that. However, she is a stone-faced bee.
Okay. Yeah, I would want to walk through. How much have you left the? What do we call the?
So one
the
thing you would
grounds?
know that and maybe maybe Lexi doesn't remember, but
Likely.
It's been a while.
it's been a while. That there was a one of the thickest moments of the fighting and the insurrections and stuff was where there are 3 temples of Set outside the palace, but near what's called the Mall, which connects the palace to the Senate discourse, and there was huge fights there, and that's where there was major looting of 2 of the temples and lots of priests murdered and stuff like that until she showed up with an army, which is led by the gal that's accompanying you. So you know that she saw that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'd take you through the rest of the town.
And also, Bonsai's character was there too.
Fatima.
Fatima. That's right.
The emphasis.
Yeah, when I was in Morocco, I learned that I'd been mispronouncing her name.
Oh, no.
It is Fatima.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Fatima.
Yeah, I would just walk through town, but I wouldn't. I know that we're on a clock here, and I'm not trying to fuck with your. I'm not trying to mess with your character.
That's we get one a night, right?
That's
That's the
right.
rule.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
Assuming you took mine. That's okay.
I'm not trying to mess
I'm
with your
religious.
character. I would only be trying to walk through town and get what your thing is.
She goes along, doesn't question it, doesn't react. She is. And if you did do enough digging, if you had done research before or after at any point in this, I think it would be, because she doesn't go around secretly, it would be pretty easy to know that she doesn't frequent less savory parts of town, but she has been seen there before, either on high religious visits, whether she's bringing the word through on holidays, but it's always been for a purpose. She's never just, she was there in the middle of the night.
Right.
It's always she's been here, but it's...
This would be less about where we're going and more about the vibe of the city post-Emperor.
Yeah.
I feel like going to less important places, you're tapping into what's actually all of the decisions roll down to
Yeah.
here. So I'm just kind of like, but it's clear. I'm like, oh, you're a pro. Okay.
Yeah, she's.
This is unreadable. But we would get to a place that would be.
Maybe she has no soul. Who knows? You know.
I doubt that. Mostly warehouse, but maybe also a bar that's not a bar. It's like one of these criminals gather here places.
Yeah.
When we would arrive, I think there would it's like daytime.
It's the tavern TM. No.
And there would be like a couple people.
Yeah, it's in the dock area, and then the wealthy docks as
Don't
opposed to
trust
the
a
poor
sailor.
docks, like where the real wealth comes in and out of the city by boat. In that area of town.
I would walk through the door, and I would not be trying to hide any step of this process. I think I would be aware of how suspicious you are. And so rather than try and put on a good show, I would just be trying to be as natural as possible. But when I would enter, I would give Mark of Silence the, like, get everybody out of here look, immediately followed by these two people.
Did you warn him that you were bringing?
I would have said something like, I would have been
nobility?
coming through and saying, like, checking the vault and then saying, there's a chance I'm going to get a meeting here. But it's a long shot. However, it happened.
Okay. So he knows kind of a little bit about what you're up to,
Sure.
like why you have these items and why they're here and stuff like that, right? I think there's you don't see anybody but him.
Okay.
So when you arrive,
I just nod.
yeah, so you come into, his lair, if you will, a large room with some couches and nice stuff. Not strong interior design sense, but some definite signs of like hodgepodge wealth,
Like the Cheesecake
okay, this
Factory.
wall hasn't been painted there, but there's
Exactly what I'm picturing.
but there's a Rembrandt painting hanging out of it, right? Or whatever,
Okay.
right? Equivalent,
She makes a point again, doesn't react, but you can tell as she's moving, she's really making a point not to touch anything.
Sure.
You get a telepathy with the daughter of Set.
Shut up, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
And she,
receptive.
vampires.
What do you mean plural?
You don't hear that. That's just you. Vampires. And she's on alert.
Good. I do not outwardly react.
I think when she sniffs, her tongue comes out, like snakes.
Yeah. Ooh, she's so cool. Okay, I'm normal. So she's not, but she's definitely making note.
Yeah.
Very well. Took me to a vampire lair. Not shady at all.
Mark. Yeah. So Mark. Oh.
I would gesture and I would say, trusted associate, Mark, we are going to take a look in the vault if you would just give us some privacy.
Yes. Senator, welcome. Welcome. He's got a local accent, which is Russian. Absolutely. If you need anything to drink or eat, let me know.
I will let you know.
Welcome. Looks at the warrior. Like, I'll just be hanging out over here. So you know where the vault is. You go there, and you don't see anybody else. Usually there's always a few goons here and there, right? But
Sure.
vampires hanging out.
I'd head straight to the vault, and then I would open it without trying to hide any of the mechanisms or combinations. Again, just like as open as necessary. And then I would open the vault, and I would say, Consolata, we may as well just get on with it. I would then step into the vault, and when I come back out, I would be holding on a velvet pillow a set of bracers of Set. Powerful defensive artifacts. And I would set that on the ground.
So you recognize these. This is an artifact of Cordova, and it was his bracers that he wore when he was a younger boy until he found better bracers later, but. They're still artifacts.
These are the plus ones before you get the plus twos.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is an artifact before he found a better artifact.
How many relics are missing that I know of?
Well, there's there's like a long list of stuff that's missing, right?
Yeah.
But at the top of the list are 3 relics that are of particular importance.
So I'm gonna look.
And then a bunch of other stuff that's also really important.
I'm trying to think. I don't have magic. I want to.
Let's say table rather than floor. You're a console.
Yeah. I want to look at them to just make sure they're real. And I'm thinking like my D&D brain is like, all the things I would do in that game. So I have like religious history, sacrament-wise, bishop-wise, doctrine, church-wise, parish. Like I have a lot of religious stuff.
Yeah, you
obviously.
also have, religious history would work. You also
Yes.
have the ability as a priest to perform miracles, which are kind of like spells. And
I didn't know that actually. Hold on, I don't have that written down anywhere.
Can perform miracles.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like you have a faith attribute. Yeah, it's
Yes.
based on that. And
Got you.
so it's very open-ended sort of spell system. It's kind of like you describe what you want to do, and this would be a relatively simple thing to.
We would just make them glow if they're real.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a brief query to the god. Is this what I think it is?
I want to do that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know because I can talk to Set.
Yeah.
I know I can do that. I can commune with Set for direct guidance.
Yes. And hold on a second. I'm looking for something really.
I might actually do that about Carr later too, in private. Just like here in this vampire den. Hey, about that demigod I met earlier. While I've got you on the line. Good old boy.
I would also have set this down on a table and then turned my back and walked away back into the vault. So I've just placed it in front of you and turned around.
Okay.
So these, you've seen these bracers before, and they're not just any bracers. First of all, they're made of adamantine, which isn't even native to Chaldea. It's some foreign metal has powerful magical properties. You're not sure where it's from, but the material itself is very rare and studded with incredibly valuable gems.
Got it.
And it's so that looks pretty freaking cool. Yeah, you're sure it is, but you could use you could do a minor miracle to
if I'm not
make
sure, I think I'll save my miracles.
Yeah. Okay.
But she'll go up, and because I'm assuming what she knows of them, they're like safe to touch. There, you can hold them.
Yeah. These are. I would say you're not sure, but you feel like you feel safe touching them. Sure.
And so she definitely and she still does it even here in the privacy of this weird empty vampire den. She touches them with full reverence. Like she whispers like a prayer over them before she touches them.
Cool.
She's still just very still Sad, thank you for bringing these back to me in the name of Cordova. May he rest in peace. I am here to return them home where they belong. Says her little prayer, and she kind of picks them up just to make sure, and then the next one, make sure see the damage and sets them back down.
Well, when you touch them, the power, it's suddenly I don't know what Farina's feelings towards the Emperor were, but one of those feelings come rushing back. For
her, it would have been deep respect, mostly because of she truly believed that he was Set's representative on this plane.
For sure, he was.
And because of that, her worship for Set, if she worshipped Set, he was right there. She Yeah.
Yeah, you feel his presence, and it's something you haven't felt in a long time, and perhaps something that you weren't allowing yourself to feel even in the memory, but it comes rushing in, overpower. You might start to weep, or you might have a vision, or you might. I think you have to have a big
I
reaction.
love the idea
here.
of a vision. If she
Okay.
can have a vision, that's cool.
Okay.
That's very, very cool.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Is it like a "that's so Raven" moment, or does she like collapse?
you have this this vision of Cordava's death.
Go to my notes.
And just this feeling of immense sadness and loss.
Can I see, like, what do I see in this? Does it give me any hints? Or do I just, like, see his body, like...
You see him looking down and seeing the spear of Set.
So he's still alive.
Impaling him. and he dies in this, and it's like, that's his death.
Does he look surprised? Angry? Like,
You're not seeing his face. You just
curses.
feel this sense of sadness and death.
And I can't look around the room. I can't.
No, of course
Okay.
not.
I can try.
That'd be too easy.
I know.
Yeah.
But wait.
Yeah. Look, yeah, and then, yeah.
So she gets, like, hit with this vision, and she just, like, barely manages to, like, catch the bracers before she drops them. And there's no tears, but she does go, which is, like, the equivalent of open weeping for her.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the daughter of Set's, like, a noise.
I would be standing right in front of you when that happened, holding a glass case. And I would say, in reference to the bangles, I would say, a unique feeling, isn't it?
I can't imagine that what we felt was the same. It was... Yes. She'll go to lay them in the case.
Sure. On the table, I will set a glass tube with delicate metal holds that have clamped a single long hair. And I will say, now I have verified this myself, but I would of course trust your eye. This is a hair of Apap.
Yeah, you've seen this before.
For the hair, I would like to try to do a minor miracle to confirm, because that feels more fakeable than the full.
Yeah,
bracers.
for sure. I'm just gonna say yes. It's such an easy test that
Okay.
you just automatically succeed.
Fabulous.
And there's no limits. Like, you can keep praying. I mean, you have the risk of, like, I might decide if you're praying too much, you're doing too many miracles.
Yeah.
That, like, okay, girl, like, which would be like Set saying
Set's
that.
like,
But,
oh my God, I'm busy.
Yeah, but I mean, you have no hesitation about invoking Set for this, because you know how important it is to the Church of Set to recover
So
these
she
artifacts. And
holds her hand out. She's not touching, she's holding it, and she's again saying, just, Set, guide me with your wisdom, guide me with your hand and all of your power. Let me represent you on earth. Let me protect your name. And she can feel, like, she just, like, feels the answer in her bones. She's like, thank you. All right.
Yep. Yeah, it's verified hair of Apep. That and this is an artifact of Set. Like, this is a hair of a god that Set killed.
I would then return to the vault for the final time. And when I come back, I'm holding a large, heavy object that's wrapped in jet black, very fine cloth. And I would say, now, do not mistake this for theatricality. I will not be ripping this hiding place away. And I will set very carefully on the table, and you hear the clunk, clunk. In my limited experience with this particular artifact, I found that looking at it for any extended period of time made me feel as though I was unmoored from this world.
I see. Do I know
just
immediately
the
what
description,
he's...
you know what this is.
Yeah.
And this is a, it's the third artifact. It is, actually, it's sitting on the table in the other room. The pyramid.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh.
That's what it is. It's cool. And it's that size. It's heavy.
When
and
I look upon it, does it affect me differently? How do I feel? Because I bet I've looked upon it before, right?
Oh.
Or haven't I?
Yeah, you would for sure.
Heck yeah.
It is a it's a privilege to stare at it.
Oh, now this guy's done it. All right.
I have not stared at it.
Actually, it's kind of good if people do, because it kind of connects them to Set and the afterlife of Set.
Lovely.
So it is literally, you can stare at this pyramid and reach a state of euphoria, like being high on MDMA or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, this is so good. This is so awesome, you know. And but it is like accelerated worship in that it like sucks you in and aligns you with the Church of Set and stuff. So it was displayed prominently in the Church of Set for the masses to come and stare at and feel this euphoria.
Again, to make sure that I'm not just bringing a heavy lump home, but she will make a point to kind of hold the cloth in place, like on the side you are, and like open it so she's not like, ah.
I would tactfully turn around to give you a moment and go close and like lock the vault door.
She's gonna take a look at and I'm assuming it is the. Okay. Yep. She's like, oh, hallelujah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Put that back. She will leave it wrapped. And she will say, very well. What do you expect in return for these? I'm sure you didn't do this out of the kindness of your heart.
I respect only a return to order, which I'm sure after this short time I've spent with you, you'll be able to deliver. And that has nothing to do with these artifacts or any other trinket.
Very well. And then I suppose once order has been returned, I may be seeing your face again. Will you be coming looking for favors, or?
I don't need favors. I would recommend that you, well, and I would gesture to the daughter of Set, and I would say, I think it was great that you brought protection. Moving through the city, please exercise every bit of caution.
I will keep that in mind. And then she's actually going to say these words that again, she has a reputation. She does not say these. She goes, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And then, I don't know, the daughter, we never decided a name for the daughter of Set, right?
I know we should, but just say, you can just call her daughter. I think it'd be great if you call her daughter.
Hey, daughter.
Hey, daughter.
Yes, no, so she will go, daughter, if you could gather the relics, we will be bringing them home. And that'll be like the first kind of moment of like a little bit of like warmth kind of enters her tone as she says that. Like a little bit of, but just a little bit, and then it's gone.
Well, she looks at, she's got like two hands. She's capable of changing her form. But she's, two of the artifacts are rather large. The bracers are smaller, and she'll grab the other two.
And so I think I think that Farina is gonna make a moment of this, because I know how strong the daughter of Set is. I don't know how long of a walk is it from here to like somewhere where there are more city guards.
You get a telepathy from daughter.
Okay.
Let's not walk. Let's pop.
Farina nods.
Are you ready to go?
Seeing an impending exit.
Say your goodbyes and give me the word. Wink at me just right.
I would say. I understand why you approached this with caution. And I respect that. There is no part of this city which is not being monitored for reasons we cannot keep track of. and for schemes which are unraveling and re-raveling every single second of every single day as chaos threatens to take over this empire. And I am just grateful that the stewardship of it is in somebody's hands who is very capable.
You know, you are a senator yourself. In 3 weeks' time, there will be a vote for new leadership. Where will your vote be cast?
I've yet to make up my mind, but I tend to follow the stronger opinion.
Well, I will be casting my vote early, so you may keep your eye on it.
You know, I found it to be quite interesting. The interrogations that were handled at the palace.
The psionic ones.
Yes. Have you much say in how that is handled?
And how it's handled, not the details of it. I was very in support of doing them. Our emperor was dead, and I wanted answers.
Of course. It's a great responsibility those with psionics carry, being able to look into the very mind's eye of whoever they decide.
It's true.
It's a shame when something like that gets abused.
Is that so?
I personally think so. Representatives like that, with a power so strong, you would need to trust that those people are kind and just and honorable.
Well, I don't know about kind, but I do agree with just and honorable.
Well, there is a certain kindness in truth, even if there's pain.
What are you suggesting?
I just don't think it's in anyone's best interest to have an interrogator with selfish means or
Well, there should be no selfish motives. The only time that we enact the psionics is when there is a need for a greater good. It's not about self in
Sure.
any way.
I agree completely. Finding the truth to the questions that you're asking is paramount. However, there's so much more locked away in people's heads. I don't think it's very fair to go poking around on your own initiative just because you happen to have been let in the door.
Well, you know that I volunteered myself to psionic interrogation as well.
Right. And how would you have felt if your interrogator was demeaning or demanding or rude?
Oh, well, I don't think my interrogator would have been around much longer had that happened.
Interesting. There's one name I'm looking for in particular. I was wondering if you might be able to provide it.
I'm afraid that off the top of my head, I don't know the names. I'm assuming she doesn't know, like, they're just like, kind of.
I
You know
wouldn't.
they all ultimately work for Amandella.
Yes, I was like, I have her name written too. Everything's in the notes.
Or Zune,
Yeah.
who's Amandella's father, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to busy you with heedless tasks, but I will be sending an inquiry quietly to the right parties through the right channels. It would be wonderful if you were to put in a good word. You've seen here, my cards are all on the table, and I'm looking for a path to follow in this very troubling time.
Well, I can tell you that I will do no favors simply because of what you've done. However, I will take your word into consideration in finding the truth of the matter.
Of course. In Set's name.
It's Set's name. I'm sorry, unlike her, I do not have a poker face. Yeah, so she is going to make a mental note of that, actually, because he used the word selfish, and she was like, selfish? In my empire? No. Greater good. So yeah, she will absolutely, I think, what she would do about that specifically is actually go to Neil Bala and have her, let's see, because I'm assuming
Okay, well,
that,
are we closing this scene?
Yes.
You ready to go out?
Yep.
You ready to go back?
Yep.
Okay. She grabs the two artifacts, the two big ones. I assume you'll grab the bracers.
Yeah.
Her. And she's like, grab my arm.
Would I be able to very carefully approach? I would gesture to the bracers, understanding you are about to leave this place.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to hold you for long, but I would try to just take the bracers in a way that would suggest it would be better if you wore them.
I think you will need to give me more than that. Why would I wear that which Cordava has worn?
I think it would be easier, and you would be more protected, simply to wear them as intended.
You certainly
on the
feel like it.
travel.
You certainly feel like it would be safe to do it. Like, it's your God. It's your God's
it's
God.
not
Right.
It's not a safety thing. It's more of a respect.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Like,
that's,
And
I wouldn't put on the Pope's hat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
But these are implements of war, and they are a sign of strength. I'm not saying that you should take ownership of them, but if you're going to be entrusted with them, might you use that very tool to ensure they arrive safely?
Do I feel like there's any threat or danger if we're doing just like the pop out as
Any
opposed to like a
threat or danger?
walkthrough? Because we're just like magicking out of here, right?
Yeah.
We're not walking out.
Yeah. She says we'll pop out. That's slang for teleport.
Yeah. Well, the type of, because I'm assuming I know everything about the bracers. I'm obsessive. I know that they would protect me if I was like walking through town. Would they do any good for me if I'm teleporting?
Well, they'll come with you. But yeah, I mean, just. Usually teleporting isn't something that hurts you.
Yeah. Okay, so she's
Right.
going to.
I mean, it could, right? You have heard stories of people who have teleported mistakenly into solid objects.
Daughter's not going to do me
stuff
like that, though,
right?
probably. So,
but yeah,
I'm thinking of the greater implication of just like appearing back there wearing the bracers of our dead emperor. And so she's going to say, but there's an idea in the back of her mind that maybe, she is doing great. She controlled the armies. She defended the temples, not Hulsan. Maybe she should be wearing these, but she's not going to jump on that right now. She's a cautious creature. But she will say, I do believe that Cordava's strengths should be with us in this time, but I think those moves should be made slowly. And then she will say, I am ready. Set will make sure that I get where I need to go.
okay. She offers you her arm. Okay, so you grab her arm.
Bracers, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Got her.
and then she teleports you back to the temple.
I don't get teleported into a wall or anything?
No.
Okay, fabulous.
You get teleported. You go directly
Should have worn the
to.
bracers.
You'll go directly to just outside of Hulsan's quarters.
Okay. I was actually thinking if we were discussing where we were going, I think I would have liked to have gone, because the temples are secure now, right?
Yeah, temples are secure.
I would have liked to have gone to the temple where we got the relics from.
Yeah.
But unless the daughter makes
You
us
didn't-
go there.
Yeah, I think you had adequate time to say that, and you didn't.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yep.
But you're alone in the corridor, and you kind of have a sense that she can't do that very often, or like
Yeah.
there are limits to how much she can do that. So anyway,
But his quarters are in the main.
she's like, she's like, she's like, score.
God, I am Bryce tonight.
Like, she's like, wow. Where do we put these? Where should we take them?
You know that
my lady.
your honor and
priestess.
your devotion has helped Set bless us today.
Oh,
We are
yes.
so lucky to have you.
Yes.
I am lucky to have you standing by my side.
Yes. Oh, I'm lucky to have to protect you. It is an honor to protect you. You've proven yourself again and again. She's like awkwardly holding these.
Yes.
like,
Let us go back, because Hulsan's quarters are in the temple that's inside of the palace grounds,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah, the main
Let us
temple.
go back into the main area so that we can present this joyous moment, so everyone can have something to celebrate in these trying times.
Oh yeah, and see you leaving.
Oh, it's not about me.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think we can
Us
keep
then.
this.
Okay, let's go. But
Yes.
hey, but time's wasting. The key question here: this guy that you got these from,
Yes.
where'd he get them?
I think that that is going to be one of the deeper investigations.
There's a path here that will take us back to whoever stole these items. We need to go. Let me go back there, and I'll rip his arms off if I have to get the information about where he got these things, and run down.
And your enthusiasm is appreciated, and Set sees it. He does. However,
I haven't killed any vampires in a while. I could.
We are in a unique war.
I'm not a vampire.
This is a unique war we're at now, and we are not simply destroying an enemy, we are saving our people. So we must move with caution and love in our steps as much as with a firm hand. Let us take this moment to celebrate, and then we will go back with a firm hand and with your sharp blades, and we will find who did this and weed out the rot from our beautiful home.
Okay.
So let's go. Let's present these to the main temple.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm just worried he's going to leave that spot,
Oh, I think they will be back. Because I don't think the one hosting the items was the one who found them. I think it was our senator friend, and he's not going anywhere.
Sure. No, he got him somehow. Like, he's scheming. Like, he found these items somehow.
Oh, yes. And we will see him again.
Yeah. And find out where he got them from and where that person got them from.
Yes.
And who's really behind these riots.
And we will do so with caution.
Gosh.
I know my daughter.
Okay.
It is.
She's just like, just
She's
like
biting at the bit.
She's like an attack dog ready to go.
I
It's
love
like the hair is like, yeah. Okay. So she'll follow you into the temple, and you guys can go.
And of course, it's not about me, but we do make sure that everyone knows that I'm the one who got them.
Yeah.
And Farina makes a big point to be like, only, with daughter by my side, and, make sure to give the daughter of Set so much credit. So it's not
and
about
somehow
her,
Nilba Anna shows up just in time
to also have credit.
Yeah.
The loyalty. And, and Farina kind of gives she talks to if people want to approach her and talk, she actually makes herself a little more available than she usually does to stop and have idle conversation of, Set guided us today.
Well, it buys time for the word to spread, too, so that when you get to the main chamber, there's full of people.
Mm-hmm. She goes, of course, Set has rewarded us for our steadfast loyalty. We have not wavered, and we defended his temples and his people, and look what Set has returned to us. Yeah. He sees what we do.
Yes.
What all of us do together.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. You get a moment here.
Come over your seat, Hassan. She yells out loud. No.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, right. She's just doing her job. Hassan gave her that
Hassan
task.
definitely shows up to offer his admiration and support.
Well,
he doesn't seem
and it was your
jealous or
guidance.
anything. He was like very
Led
impressed.
me to do so.
Yeah, I was like, very good, Farina. Just it says under his breath at some point. Very good, Farina. Can't wait to hear the story.
Well, I would never want to disappoint you.
Okay. Back to you.
I've got a lot of irons in the fire, but assuming Farina would honor, at least considering giving me clearance, I would try and obtain the name of the psionic. Once I get it, I don't have much more to do with that, but I would want to obtain the name and the whereabouts of the psionic.
Okay, so you want me to go back to her? I mean, I'm offering you a scene here, but
if you got something in mind, that's on my brain.
Yeah. Well, we can try to. We don't have to drag this out. I mean, are you going to run down? You're going to try and run down the name of the.
She is going to.
You would have to. I mean, your first instincts would be to talk to either Zune or.
Yeah, I feel like she would go straight to Zune because I think they feel or would. So from what she knows, she works with these people a lot. So I'm assuming she would have like a vibe. Would she feel like Amidala would almost be like receptive, like, oh, you came to me instead of my father, instead of like going over my head? Would she like appreciate that I went to her instead of going to Zune?
she doesn't strike you as someone who appreciates
Anything.
things. You know, she's a lot like you in some ways. I mean, she's.
Yeah.
You know,
But we don't like her. That's
I mean,
the difference.
you can remember. you might remember Anne's portrayal of Amandella. She's pretty taking a certain amount of glee in the.
Yeah, she's a sadist.
She's a sadist. Yeah, she seems pretty sadistic. Zune, however, seems a lot more.
Okay, I'll just go straight to Zune because we're both consuls, so it's not like.
Zune's a very straight shooter. Like you talk to him, and he's just usually going to give you a fairly unemotional.
Yeah, and there's nothing weird about.
He tries to be supportive of what people need, but can't always do that.
So I will go to him and I'll say, Zune, Consul Zune, it was brought to my attentions, unfortunately, as someone who supported the psionic interrogations, as you know I did, and I do not regret it. However, it seems that one of your interrogators may have gone beyond the bounds of their jobs. And I only bring it to your attention because I would like to make sure that we can utilize your psionic interrogators again.
Damn, you cutthroat.
Was it your interrogator?
It was not. There should actually be a formal complaint coming through that's been brought to my attention, and I just wanted to make sure that the right eyes landed upon it.
Why do you care?
To be completely blunt, someone told me that this interrogator used these interrogations for selfish means, and I worry that perhaps they were distracted at a time where we needed to be focusing on answers for our emperor. I wouldn't want anything to have gone missed over games.
Here, have a seat.
Of course.
Consul. We don't, the Taxians are not easy allies.
Yes, I understand.
They're pretty powerful in their own right. It's not, they're not a faction that we like dominate.
Of course.
It's a faction of quid pro quo and hopefully aligned interests.
And is allowing them to have their fun part of that quid pro quo?
To not make too big of a deal out of it is for the sake of, we don't use it lightly. I mean, how many times have you been interrogated?
I think that was the first time.
Yeah, it's the only time. I mean, we don't. We use them mostly for.
I understand. Like I said, I just
prisoners.
Want to be sure that
gulag people.
That nothing was missed. Over perhaps too much focus on fun and less focus on what was important. After all, any detail in this mystery is critical. I know you know that.
Well, the argument for any detail being important is exactly what they would say back, right?
Of course.
To have unfettered access to a person's mind, you never know what you find. You can imagine how this goes, right?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, you have responsibilities. You have great responsibilities here, and I enjoy working with you. Is this request worth international stress between us and Taxians?
I do not set my request up as a need for immediate action. I would just hope that it is something that could be considered and kept in mind when we're reviewing the information and perhaps the need to use them again. Because I would still love to support their continued use, as I have always.
I can promise you we never use them lightly.
Very well.
But for me to, make waves, I would have to know a little bit more what national interests, what imperial interests are at stake here.
Of course.
If it's just somebody's wounded ego, because, everybody has wounded egos over these interrogations. It wasn't a pleasant moment in our history.
Is then that as the complaint comes through, that it gets at least to your eyes, and then I will trust your judgment from there. But I ask that you do look at it for a fair moment before passing on. That is my only request.
Very well.
Thank you.
I'm hearing rumors, lots of celebration over at the temple. What?
Yes, you know, Halsan, as wise as he ever is, tasked me with retrieving the missing artifacts from the raids, and with the help of Daughter and my chief of staff, we were able to recover them.
The artifacts of Set,
Absolutely.
your god, that were stolen?
Yes,
You've recovered them?
I have. Of course, with the help of others and Halsan's
He
guidance.
pours himself another drink. And you remember, Scotty Brown played this character. He looks kind of like a biker. He's got long.
He's a dude.
He's a dude. He's leather. You know, he looks like a leather daddy. He's got his long, frizzy hair. And he offers you another drink. Have a drink.
I don't,
tell
but
me,
thank you.
Tell me more about this. Like, what? How did you find them? Who had them?
Well, I think it goes without any surprise that the relics had landed in unsavory hands. However, those hands passed them on to another, until someone with more pious intentions was able to retrieve them for us, and I was able to retrieve them from him.
Who?
In his great respect for Set, he did not want any credit in his hand in saving these.
I bet.
The humility of faith.
I am very vested in finding out who was responsible. I'm glad you've recovered them. That doesn't alleviate the need to bring to justice whoever it was that organized. We now believe that a lot of the unrest in the city was centrally organized by someone pretty powerful.
You know,
powerful enough to have eluded my...
Perhaps you, myself, and Fatima should get together to discuss that, because she and I have actually been having recent conversations about being very invested in that same thing. And of course, I could invite Halsan or keep him up to date, as he is very busy in all things. Though I know the security of our temples is as important to him as it is to me.
Sounds like whoever you bought them from is the person that would be able to help us find out who.
And that is something that I would love to discuss further with all three of us. I think we could all bring everything we know to the table and get to the bottom of this.
I have great admiration for Consul Fatima, but she's a hammer. We need we need somebody who understands the streets.
I agree.
I think that's a good place to cut that.
Yep.
Just so we gotta give Jesse some time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm thinking that you don't get any information unless you want to make up somebody. You don't get the name of the psionicist.
She's not going to lie to him.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So yeah.
Well, I would also have asked you to just kind of put in the good word, because I wouldn't have expected you to run down the name yourself.
Yeah.
So I just needed like somebody to grease the wheels so that when I make the request, I could receive it.
And by the way, there's a name that didn't come up that should have too. You know, I said the two people you would go to, Amandela or Zune.
Yeah.
I did not mention the head of the Psionic Syndicate is a guy named Gastad Mouron.
Yeah. I still think she would have gone to Zune.
Yeah. I don't think it's somebody you know or have it. I mean, this guy is he's a Taxian, and he's just like one of these like sadistic, deformed, weird people, like evil, sadistic. Yeah. He looks like the person who would be doing exactly what you're complaining about.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
I think she's just kind of hoping that like maybe bringing it to mention will present it in a way that you can get whatever you need, but it's not something that she's going to like pursue on his behalf.
I wouldn't have expected it either, not from a consul. I just needed you to lean.
So you made reference to a complaint filed. Was there a complaint filed?
You told me that there was.
I think maybe what I would have done is I would have, in a veiled attempt, I would have gone and pretended to go through proper channels in a way to just get information. Because I don't actually want to make it an official complaint, but I would need to get to a point where I could find out who it was that interrogated me.
Okay. Should we talk about that a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, if you're not wanting to file a complaint, but if you did, you would probably, if you wanted to file a complaint about the taxions, about the interrogations, I mean, you would probably go to somebody on the council, maybe Tihomir, because he chairs the council, and you're a senator, so you have access.
Yeah.
Or Zune, you could have gone to Zune yourself, or, and you also know what I just told you. You know that there's head of the Psionic Syndicate, this guy, Agustad Luron. But
I would have absolutely no interest in talking to that person.
yeah, and he's not a public figure. He's not a he's a person that most people never meet.
Sure, cloak and dagger. What I would be trying to do is leverage any favor that I would have gained from Farina, but part of what was great about what Zune said, even though Television wasn't in that conversation, but I, as Jesse, watching it, would be, like everybody's got a bruised ego. That's really great. Because I want mine to matter in a way that sends a message. This is not revenge.
Well, you could, I could, one possibility would be to go, there was a council member. I'm trying to remember the movie because we wrote, I think it was Ingrid's character, Jinaz, in the movie that we did, who was very vocal about the interrogations. Who was very mad about it. This was a. So you do know that there is a council member who was very upset, and it's an NPC who was very upset about the interrogations. Is that what you're looking for?
I just need to get the name of my interrogator, so whoever you think would give it to me.
Well, it's not who I think. I'm just giving you.
I'd go to.
I mean.
I would go to Zune's.
Okay, so another
Not him.
console. Okay, so thinking about who might know. I mean, you're talking about who is in an organization. I mean, you could be thinking about who the guards were on duty that day. Things like, okay, if you were escorted down into the dungeons by a group of, probably a couple palace guards and a couple of psionists who were taken down there, like one of those palace guards, or finding a duty roster of who was on
that works
duty, that sort of thing. The angle of, who were the guards responsible for,
Sure.
who escorted you to the dungeon.
Yeah, I would work that angle. I would be trying to find out specifically which psionicist was inside my head. But I could start that way.
Yeah.
Whatever I would need to get.
So I'm thinking you have no ideas about how to access a taxion org chart.
Right.
Or a taxion duty roster of which taxions were assigned, because it's just like this completely separate organization that's very xenophobic, that's very its own agenda. They're like some nasty guild out of Dune or something, I mean, they're kind of loosely modeled after the Space Guild. Okay. And anyway, but the idea of, this is a perfect, I think this is a circles test, a circle of somebody who is a...
It'd be palace admin, and in whatever capacity that is. I think that I'm a good tipper. I think that I hand out money a lot. I think so. Of the staff, recognizing that I am not on the console, but I am usually a hanger-on, I am treating the working stiffs very well. It would be like holidays, gift baskets kind of shit. So that would be the circle I would tap, would be palace admin.
Well, there's the palace butler.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
The palace butler, his name is Hapu.
Yeah, there we go.
And he is, and he he's a very friendly guy. He's a big guy. He's a big personality. He's the type of guy that remembers everybody's, not only their birthdays and wedding anniversaries, but their children's names and
Sure, that's the one then.
Of hundreds, if not thousands, of people that come to the Imperial Palace.
Okay.
Yeah, you could easily find Hapu. He seems to work tirelessly.
Okay.
Always very visible, and so you go find Hapu.
Yeah.
Okay. Consul Crane, how are you?
I am excellent, Hapu. How are you?
Great, excellent. Can I get you anything? Refreshments?
No,
A scribe? A tour of the aviary? Lots of people like to go up and try and see the Emperor from above.
No, just something much simpler.
Okay, sure.
May I speak to you candidly?
Yes, of course. Yeah, here, come to my office. Yeah.
I'll follow.
It takes you to his office.
And as I talk, I'll look at all of the decoration and the knickknacks and the novelties.
Yeah, and so he is the butler, is in charge of administration, but it's not security, right?
Sure.
It's like like the butler in an English manner, right? The person who runs the staff.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Hapu, I've been speaking with Consul Ata.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We've agreed on several things, but there is one dead end she's hit that I'm hoping to unblock for her. I'm looking for the name of a psionic interrogator.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask about a tailor.
No, not today.
Obviously, you don't need one.
No, I
Yes.
pay my tailor very well.
Yes, of course
And have
you
for
do.
many years.
Yeah, yes. He probably knows who your tailor is.
Oh, I imagine my tailor was recommended to me by this person.
Certainly could have been.
Best taste in the kingdom, and I get it.
Yeah. You want the name of a psionic interrogator?
Yes,
I don't know that there's any I could recommend to you.
there's one in particular. And I'm investigating. So, until I clear this person, I would need it to be kept secret that I'm looking for them.
Oh, this sounds like. This sounds like business that you're trying to get me in trouble, are you?
Absolutely
here,
not.
Consul.
No, absolutely not. In fact, I think it would behoove both of us if this conversation never happened.
Yeah.
My memory these days is so terrible.
I hate conversations that never happened. So, you want some information about
I just need one name,
you need a name of
a single name.
any of these? You want to know the name of
The interrogator
a-
who looked into several people, but also my mind on the day of the interrogations.
Yes. He's just crestfallen,
I'd put a hand on his shoulder and I would say, believe me.
You could.
I know the feeling.
You can see that this is a man who's been under a tremendous amount of stress and is really struggling to put on a pleasant face and to be good-natured and all the things that he's that's
love
expected.
him.
I'd walk
Of
to the
him.
sideboard and I would pour him a drink.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. See, yeah, he's conflicted because he doesn't like to get involved in subterfuge. There's like a Sergeant Schultz sort of like.
I feel like this happens to him a lot.
Nothing.
'Cause he
yeah.
knows everything.
Well, he's the glue.
And yet
Yeah.
he doesn't like the psionics. I mean, he had to have been interrogated too,
Yeah.
right?
And I think in this moment I would be looking for empathy. I would be saying like, Hapu, I see myself in your expression. You drain color, I'm paler. Believe me,
Yeah.
none of this would ever come back to you. And on top of that, all I'm doing is looking into a few questions that Consul Farina Atta had.
Okay. Right. Okay. I think you're going to need a persuasion test here.
Sure.
Yeah. And he is not actually persuasion. The obstacles will. adjusted based on circumstances. And his will is, I think he's pretty strongly willed to have gotten to a position like this. But I'm gonna say his will would be 4, but he's got an odd penalty of 1. He's like, it's effectively a 3 because of the amount of stress he's under. He's under so much stress, and
I have a persuasion of 6, and I'd like to fork something into that.
okay. Well, let's look up.
I'm thinking it's going to either be. I got a couple. Ugly Truth.
Or are you really going to hit him with ugly truth?
Well, I think that we're just discussing some horrible stuff. I also have Grift-wise, because I am technically grifting him. But I also have like Court-wise, Senate-wise. Like I know how to work. I have administration. Like I just have these ways to like. I'm so familiar with the way that things are run.
Yeah, do you have falsehood? Falsehood. The easy ones are falsehood, haggling, soothing platitudes, and ugly truth. So,
I have falsehood. I have haggling. I have ugly truth.
yeah. Okay. Well, you need to. So, what lie are you going to tell him to get the falsehood bonus?
Oh, that I'm investigating, and it won't go any further than that.
Okay.
I want to give the appearance that I'm merely looking into a few things.
Right. Okay. That works for me.
I don't want to telegraph my intent to this person at all.
Okay. And haggling, how does that apply?
I don't think it applies on a monetary basis, unless I would. What would I know if this person? I feel like this person wouldn't take bribes, but am I wrong about that?
Probably not.
Okay, so it would be more of a haggling of less currency, more emotion. Of I can see how upset this situation has made you. In return for this knowledge, I'll ensure something like this doesn't happen again.
Well, you can't really ensure that, right? I mean,
Well, I am lying.
yeah, it doesn't strike me as haggling. I think I'm gonna disallow the haggling. Ugly truth, I'm sure you can work that into here somehow.
I would just be.
Interrogation's a big ugly truth.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think referencing what my experience was like and why I'm so driven to answer these questions for somebody who might be able to ensure this power isn't wielded incorrectly would be, laying on the ugliness of the situation itself, kind of looking for any tell of similarities of the slug, of the moment, of the feel, of the intrusion, just trying to remind this person of those things.
I think that is. I'm gonna look up. That's pretty good.
We are haggling.
They're
Ugly
like, out
truth.
of the game, we're haggling.
The ability to strip a situation or argument to its bare, naked core. That's ugly truth.
I wouldn't dance around what it was like. I wouldn't use euphemism. I would talk about being carried down into the dungeon. I would talk about the tactile experience of having that creature put on me. And then I would start to reveal the nature of why this particular interrogator is being suspected of wrongdoing by talking about the corners of my mind that they were looking into. And in that moment, I would reveal some of those embarrassing things
Okay.
to the butler.
All right. Okay, so you got 2 forks.
Okay, so I got 6.
6 plus 2 is 8.
All right. What am I looking for? 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
5s and 6s are my successes?
4, 5, and 6s.
Ooh, 4, 5, and
Those are
6.
good.
Yeah. It's in the bank, right?
1, 2, 3.
Barely got it.
Three, ooh,
Barely
in
got
the
it.
back.
Okay. 4.
It's if I'd you wouldn't have gotten 4. But you did have a 6. You would have had a chance to explode it. So, you persuade him to help, which means that he will. He will find a record
Okay.
of, sort of it's the empire. It's a big bureaucracy. Everything is written down. There's notes are taken, agendas are taken.
I imagine.
Records of stuff, and especially consuls being interrogated. There's record of it.
I assume that there are people more important than me asking similar questions, and those people will want to have those questions answered.
If so, they may not have. It's possible nobody came to him, right?
I just mean that there would be a need for record keeping because those
right.
people are going to expect information to be available.
Yeah. Okay. So I sometimes try to make up a name by just typing crazy letters. Okay, it gives you, it takes him a couple days, but it gets back to you with the name of a named Cecil Latiel, and is the psionicist who interrogated you.
Okay. I would go to. Does this place have a name? I don't think so.
What place?
Mark of Silence is.
Oh, the warehouse, Mark's warehouse.
Yeah.
You just say Mark's.
I'm going to go to Mark's place.
Okay.
And I will write that name on a piece of paper. And then I will slide it across the table to Mark of Silence.
Okay.
And I will say, I denied you a meal quite recently. And I've just been unable to forgive myself since.
You're ready for the embrace.
No.
Such a tease.
Yes. I offer instead a poor substitute. But for all those reasons why I couldn't ever be your thrall, Mark. Instead, I'd ask you to consider adding to your ranks someone with the ability to look into the head of any other, as well as possessing the knowledge of some of the most secret secrets that have ever been pulled through the years in the palace.
Yeah?
And I would pass this name, Cecil Latiel, to Mark of Silence.
Yeah.
And I would say, this is a psionic interrogator.
How'd you get this name? A psionic interrogator. What kind of trouble are you trying to get me into now?
Well, the bad and worst kind there is. But I would say, Mark, I need you.
You're never dull. You're never dull.
No.
Television.
Think of the risk and the reward. I just need you to take care of this problem for me, and in doing so, give yourself a solution to any business deals you might have in the future.
You're such a silver tongue. Talking me into all the advantages that I will have by going and doing your dirty work.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you know where he is? Do you know anything about that? I mean, he's a Taxian, right? I mean, he's a psionicist. You know, those people kind of hang out together.
Sure.
Yeah?
I'm not asking you to do it yourself, but I'm asking you to tap your network. You've made people disappear in the future. In the past. And the future. You've made people disappear in the past, Mark. And I need you to do it again. In the future.
Yeah. Usually it's like, make somebody disappear, like, a drunk sailor who saw something he shouldn't have, or a prostitute that might have overheard someone's confession in bed about some shipment. It's a Taxian! Taxian Psionicist interrogator.
In our pocket. In our employ.
Yeah, we go find the person, disposal. And then, and so he's part of a psionic network. Like, nobody's going to figure out that he's been turned into a vampire.
I'm sure that they will. I've made necessary arrangements to ensure that perhaps this will not be looked into too closely, and it's my name that's on it, not yours.
Okay, I mean, I'll look around, but I'm not making any promises about moving on somebody like this. I mean, I feel like I'd be lucky just to figure out where do Taxians live anyway. I don't even know. Like, you don't see them walking down the street. You don't bump into them at the market. I mean, they've got to live somewhere. Like I'm imagining like there's an ant colony somewhere of Taxians that are just like in some big honeycombed hive that's underground somewhere, like vampires. Maybe we're neighbors.
There's a lot of similarities, and I'll bankroll the entire operation.
Oh. Not on credit, though.
Not on credit.
Not in these days.
Not in these days.
Yeah, we kind of gloss over the fact that there's this whole economic collapse going on,
Yeah,
you guys
that's like
talking
other characters' problems.
Yeah, well, on another level, it's your problems, too. But I mean,
well, Kashar and I,
yeah.
last session, tried to ensure that we would have spending money.
Yeah, you guys have.
We've consolidated tangible wealth.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about, the joys of being a Chaldean these days.
Yes, I feel like the risk is. I'll say it in. We'll say it in conversation, in character conversation. The risk is insurmountable. I don't pretend I'm asking you anything lightly. It's just at this point in time, with the whole thing burning down, its drastic measures or none at all. Anything you need that I can provide, you can have. Any fee for this service, you name it. Whatever you need, I will do.
So what's your beef with this guy, thing, gal? Is Cecil? Is that a guy's name or a girl's?
I have no idea.
I don't know Taxian names.
Look, Mark, this is my beef with this thing.
It's your beef. What? Well, is he the guy that mind probed you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it needs to be known, as we redefine our position in this city and continent and world, that you better think twice before you lay a hand on anything that's ours. And it doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Excellent. Drained, Mark. Drained.
Yeah, it sounds dangerous. It really does. I mean, we need to do. We need to do some research into Taxians. We know they're mentalists, but what does that mean? I mean, I have mental abilities as a creature of the night, but I think it's different.
Imagine how it might taste.
I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to glance back through my notes and see what else we want to touch on tonight, this evening. Do either of you have anything you want to pursue? You can also, Burning Wheel encourages collaboration in the sense hey, I want to pursue this belief or this sort of thing, but help me out, DM or other players. Any ideas? You can do that sort of thing.
Well, I do think that I don't know how much she'd be able to get into it tonight, but she wants to, from here on out, kind of toe this fine line where she does want to pursue the, like, I'm going to get back and have a conversation about, like, how you found these religious artifacts, like, you know, and kind
We're
of...
here in person.
Yeah.
We could do that right now.
Exactly. Like, I want that, but
Let's go back to that.
But I would
because
like her to do it in a way, because, like, the reason she's so cautious about, like, making sure no one else is doing it is she's trying to keep you undestroyed because you're clearly this good connection right now.
Sure.
And a senator who's probably going to vote the way she wants you to vote. So she's trying to keep you out of trouble. It's not just like throw your name in. Hey, this guy had the artifacts that were stolen and covered in priest blood.
That is the gamble I took, but I thought maybe we'd fall into this camp.
Yeah.
I have several other things I'm on the hook for, but while we're in person, I would be very interested in
We need to
pursuing.
resolve this because this is time sensitive in the sense that
Sure.
Yeah.
okay.
'Cause I know Zoom's gonna be coming back to
you
me, the
go do the
daughter's gonna be coming back to me
ceremony,
about
you get all the
this.
adulation, you get all this stuff like that, all this stuff like that. But like
Yeah. And she does want to, like, involve Zune in this. She just needs to make sure, hey, what are the answers that he's going to get? I need to know before I'm surprised with him and you get executed for saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, so you're going to have, there's definitely going to be a little meeting with Holsan and,
Of course.
and daughter. Yeah, I think that's her name now, daughter.
Yeah.
Everybody just calls her daughter.
Like, once you hit that rank, that's her identity now. It's like, it's more than a rank.
Daughter.
It's
I mean,
like,
she has a name, but like,
yeah.
Daughter. That's good. And so, daughter's very like revengeful. Like like you heard. Like we gotta go shake this guy down and find follow back to the course and find out who's. And whole son would be curious what you have to say about that. I mean, it would be like, what should we do with this information?
I absolutely agree that we need to pursue this course. However, he is a senator, one who asked for nothing in return and returning these artifacts to us. I would like to use him as a link in the chain of information. And if nothing reveals him directly culpable, I do not want him to be the target of our revenge. I want him to be a useful ally in finding those who are truly responsible.
So Holsan is an honorable guy. I mean, you're appealing to his sense of honor, and
the practicality of it, she feels like.
But he just says, yeah, we are honor bound to treat this person.
I believe Set guided him to us.
And we owe him courtesy. But we do need to take advantage of this to find out what we can find out about who's behind. And so, do you tell him what Zune told you?
Yeah, that no secret there where she talks about, like, Zune also, feels that it's this bigger thing. And
it's not just random street crime, that there's some...
Yeah, she absolutely relays that as well. And she goes, and I believe that once we have more information and we have established that the senator is our ally, that we can bring Zune in, along with Fatima as allies in this.
What do you want to do? Do you want to go talk to your friend?
Yes.
And,
friend is a strong word.
Yes.
I would like to.
Senator.
B-E-S-T.
You want to go talk to Senator Crane? I think he would know it's you because
she gives Holsan the name.
Yeah, because your assistant set it all up.
Yeah.
Your assistant's not gonna.
Yeah, she's totally fine.
Okay,
Holsan,
so do you want to go talk to Senator Crane and tell him that, hey, you tell him you're getting a lot of pressure.
I do.
To find out where you got this stuff.
And then she's actually going to make a point to turn to daughter and say, I hope you do understand the route that I want to take with this, and that I believe this is the path Set has laid out for us. But I want you to be assured that my end goal is the same as yours.
Well, I trust your wisdom.
Thank you.
I trust that you won't let this opportunity escape your grasp. Okay, so you want to...
I would just be waiting for the call.
You're just like, here it comes. Yeah. She sends...
Nilabana can set up a meeting at the Senate Discourse.
She has Nilbala set up the meeting, but this time she invites you to a meeting at her like actual official offices. Or like, because hers is probably in the pyramid at the palace, right?
You're as a consul or as a priestess?
No, let's do consul office.
Yeah. Okay. So then you probably in the palace.
Yeah. So she invites you to her actual consul office in the palace this time.
Exactly on time and alone.
Excellent. I have Nobala in the room with me, and I feel like, and I guess Daughter doesn't have to be there because we're in the palace this time, but if she feels invested, I invite Daughter to stand outside the door and guard if she would like.
So guard the door.
Excellent.
Make sure nobody leaves before you let them.
Green, welcome.
Consul.
Now, the church, as you must know, is very grateful for the return of the artifacts.
They chose the right person to find him.
Of course. However, there is the question of how you received them. And I want to assure you that I have told everyone that you were the one sent to retrieve these from the true criminals and return them to our church, which I hope you will not prove me wrong in doing.
Of course not. I require no notoriety.
Of course. However, there is much notoriety to be had in how those artifacts went missing, negative attention, of course, and we do need to know who took these artifacts and how this violent and unnecessary chaos occurred. So anything that you know about how you got these artifacts or the line that though went down from the temple to you, we need all that information.
You must understand that the way I've managed to not only reach but maintain my position is by a keen sense of loyalty.
Yes, and you must understand that unfortunately this is a much higher issue that even if I wanted to, I could not protect you from. Someone will be coming to gather information from you, so you can either work with me or much more violent means will come for you. And that is only the truth.
I'm no stranger to violence, Consul. No stranger at all. I'd ask you, because I don't think you'd be here to find the names of petty criminals, nor would you need my help to do so. But it seems that perhaps there's something more at play. Perhaps an answer that you're hoping to find. Maybe if you were more open, we might be able to arrive at it together.
There are only theories that, as of right now, are, in the spirit of honesty, not even mine. Ones that I'm pursuing, I'm trying to build an alliance of those with knowledge, with resources, to vet out those with certain levels of power to inflict the chaos that we've experienced that neither of us desire. And I think you could be part of this allyship with the information that you have.
You think this was more than a riot?
I don't have evidence to that as of this moment, but my spirit guides me that way.
Now,
However, I have to warn you, there may be others in power who do have evidence to that. And again, I want you to be on the right side of this in case that evidence points in the direction of you or those close to you.
I have nothing to hide.
Well, except where you got the artifacts.
I have people to protect, but nothing to hide. Now, I think I know my half of this, so I'm going to tell it, and if I need to be corrected, course correct me.
Okay. Sounds good.
In the wake of the assassination, it was clear that, as we've seen already, factions were sure to form. Those looking to fill a vacuum of power. As I expressed on our first meeting, it's in my best interest to see reliability, a structure that I know and understand maintains power. When I heard that the riots hit the temples and that the places were looted, I thought it wouldn't be good for the side I'm betting on to lose some of their most prized possessions, whether they grant tangible power or their symbols of that power. I thought that losing those symbols would show weakness I couldn't stand in the Church of Set. I acted immediately, sensing we would meet one day. And I put out word through all of my networks that I was looking to purchase any and all artifacts of Set, no questions asked, at premium prices. I obtained what I obtained through those methods at considerable cost, which is nothing to me. But what you're speaking of, conspiracy, I don't think that conspiracy would part with these artifacts. Now, that's nothing to say that perhaps, however they ended up in the hands of some petty criminals, was the cause of someone who wanted to make sure they disappeared or fell into a more useful scapegoat. But I have no knowledge personally of this conspiracy or why anyone. Well, I can speculate, but no evidence as to why anyone would deliberately set riots against the temples of Set, unless those people were allied with the person who took down the emperor. And I can see why that's dangerous to you, and why you're threatening me with violence, so that I might reveal those faces behind the masks.
It is not a threat right now, Senator Crane. It is a warning. If it were a threat, I would be telling you it's what I would do. I am warning you that others are wanting to, and right now I am what's in between you and violence.
And I have absolute faith in your ability to maintain.
Oh, that is not something that you should have right now. This is what I am here to tell you. Even if I believe that you have no connection to these conspiracies, which, for the record, I do believe. I do believe your story. But even if we all believe, those who are more eager to get to the end result now, you are the only connection. You are the only link we have to whoever it is that we really want. And they are going to pursue that link. It's only you.
How many people have asked you, people of power, who you want to sit on the throne?
And what does that have to do with this?
I'm just curious.
I don't think that's relevant. I think what's more important is figuring out how to stop these riots and this violence in our city. Because whoever sits on the throne won't matter if we can't get control of the people.
I don't have any information for you today. If you'd like me to find out, I'd be happy to work with you.
I would, but you'll have to give me something to take back to the others so that I can keep them off of you for a little longer.
It's difficult to do what I do, and it's not without risk. I cannot give you any names other than my own. If they need one, give them mine. And
I
if it's
will.
violence they bring,
Very well. I want you to know that if that is the case, I have at least spoken with you my truth today, and I've delivered you the warning that I could give you.
Cutscene there. That's good.
Yeah.
Totally
I have
one
one
last
more
word. One
question
word.
for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Of course.
why not you?
Because I believe you, and I believe that given at least a little more time, I think you are more likely to give me what I want as an ally than as a corpse.
You misunderstand the question, but you're probably right there anyway. Why not you on the throne?
I am not an emperor or an empress, and I am not Set's chosen warrior. I am just a person who wants to serve my God to the best of my ability to help others.
What's the purpose of an emperor? This god, emperor, for this god.
Oh, well, that's for Set to know, and for us to follow.
Cordova was powerful.
Very. May he rest in peace.
You are intimate with the needs and desires of Set.
Not as much so as you would think. There is still Halsan, and there are the demigods. There are many between myself and our great god.
No. Nil Ba'ala. Oh, Nil Ba'ala. Yeah, I think you would make a great empress.
And I think that is very flattering and an honor, but not one that I am seeking.
Exactly why it should be you. Selflessness. Truth, justice. These are the things you live by. These are the things you enact on your purview as we sit here. Why would those people in power ask you who you thought should sit on the throne, if not to seek your guidance, or to ensure that they understood who the greatest opposition was backing?
As much as I am flattered by your opinion, the only opinion that matters to me is Set's. And as of now, he has not given me any sign that that is where he wants me.
But you're patient.
I am following the path that he lays out for me, wherever it may lead. I think there are others that we can guide to the throne in his name, who will do just fine.
Sure.
Cut there?
Yeah. For that story moment, may I request a bio break?
Yeah, let's do a.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do a bio break. We're going to take a short bio break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right. And just like that, we are back. Thank you for sticking around for us. If you're just recently tuning in, wondering like, what the heck are these people doing? We are playing Burning Wheel, RPG by Luke Crane, and set in a storyline called Burning Saratof, which is in the Emperor's City in the wake of the Emperor's assassination. It's a game of sort of political intrigue and unrest and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, we have, coming back from a very interesting conversation, there's things that we could, I feel like this tension that's at play right now, I think we've got to dig deeper into this. We've got to, you two just had a conversation, and after that conversation, there's going to be, Holsan's going to want to know how that went. Like what?
Do you want the just kind of general bullet points of the information she takes to Holsan?
You can just say, well, I tell them what happened, right? Or if you want color in a certain way, or.
I think she's pretty upfront because she also is still protecting herself a little. If he ends up being crazy or evil or something, she's not going down as the person who protected him or like vouched for him too hard, right? She doesn't. Right. She wants to trust what he's saying, but she's not stupid. So I think she's going to come to Holsan and just kind of.
I got it.
Yeah, she's going to be very blunt. She's going to be like, this is what he's telling me. I'm still inclined to keep him as an ally for now, but if a few days pass and we don't have the information,
there's a knock on the door. His counsels. You guys are interrupted. And his chief of staff, whoever that is, right? Comes, opens the door, and Zune walks in.
To talk to Zune anyway.
So Zune, Holsan, they obviously go way back.
Council Zune, I'm actually glad that you've joined us.
Thank you. So, what have you learned?
Well,
Holsan's like, we were just talking about this.
Absolutely.
So he sits down. Like not like he owns the place or anything. He's respectful of being in your temple and your offices. Yeah. But at the same time, he's comfortable in his skin pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. No, I do think that he is simply more useful to us and our purposes as an ally than anything else. I think that the information we're seeking, he doesn't have on hand, but he's the only one who could find it for us. I do think that if he makes things difficult too much longer, then a firmer hand is needed because the priority is, of course, preventing this sort of violence from happening again.
Well, Holsan says, well, maybe we can deduce some. I've invited Zune to come join us today.
Yes,
Zune, you have extensive intelligence networks. What can you tell us about Senator Crane? Mm-hmm. And so Zune's like, well, we're putting together a file on him right now. We have a file. He's like, he has a file, little file with him, He kind of goes through, a lot of the stuff that's in your background. It's like, yeah, he used to be a big smuggler, and he went legit. He's still got connections with, the underground, the black market, especially in shipping. And he is commonly seen in the company of the warehouse district. He looks up Mark of privilege. Mark of silence. Mark of silence. It was a vampire, and he says the name that you don't know. But Zune knows it, and Mark of Silence is a thrall too. And he names an elder vampire who is a pretty powerful dude, pretty powerful entity in Saratof underworld. But I don't think he's. I don't. I don't.
You don't think
But
he's
he's
involved?
also so. Senator Crane's also involved with his relationships with smugglers, with fences,
Yes.
and he put out. And I've been able to verify that he did put out the word that he was looking to purchase artifacts of Set, relics of Set. By the way, there's a lot of other stuff that's missing too. The 3 artifacts are great, but and Hulsan says this, but there's a lot of valuables
Yes.
that are out there somewhere.
I did remember one of the things that was part of what I said, which might be in the file. I insisted very strongly that none of my people participate in the riot at all. That no one loots, no one steals, no one breaks anything. That was a huge part of that plan, which I completely forgot until the break.
I actually remember you saying that. Yeah, I remember hearing you say
So
that.
that would be, if he was digging, that would be part of it.
So, so Zune says you have some reservations about bringing in Senator Crane and seeing what else he knows. And Hulsan is, I have to agree with Farina, Consolata, that he did us a solid. My honor says we have to protect him.
At least until he gives us a reason not to.
Yeah, and Zune kind of like, I understand that. So what we need to figure out a way to work around him. Then we'll go find out. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Now that I know where they were. I have some ideas of some of the people involved. I know where they ended up. I'll connect the dots some other way.
That's a relief to hear. And if there is anything that we can do on our end to assist, know that we want to get to the bottom of this just as badly as you do.
So who are you voting for Emperor Hulsan? Hulsan, consul, you're a senator, you have a vote. You two, this is the Church of Set faction. Are you making a bid, Hulsan? And he's like, no. Hulsan says, we work best hand in glove with a government, not...
And of course, Hulsan has been in deep communion with Set, so where Set guides his vote, mine will most likely also land.
Soon. He doesn't quite roll his eyes, but he's kind of like, okay, that's a
Typical.
That's kind of a cheap answer, is what his expression says.
That's fine. I'm used to him making that expression to a lot of the things I say at this point, honestly. This is probably a very common expression he makes around me.
Yeah. So I think we just leave that conversation right there. Like, yeah. You guys talk politics for a while. I mean, you probably don't like. I think the consuls have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like, and it's just like the three of you are together, and you're three other people. He's. He knows where Kashar and Galena are. He says, good. Two of our consuls have been kidnapped.
I'm sorry. By who?
And another former consul. We're trying to. I'll get him out.
You will.
I'll take care of it.
As critical as a cartographer is in times of trouble, we just cannot. Any sign of weakness or disruption or empty seats of power, we can't afford right now.
I agree. I will make sure that both of those consuls, both of our missing or kidnapped consuls, will be back in time for the next Council of Consuls meeting.
Consul soon. Your efforts are appreciated.
He looks a little tired.
Relatable.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you get just over the next couple of days, everybody you know is getting tailed, questioned. People that you've never seen before, just kind of coming out of the woodwork, slinking around Mark's place. Anybody you know. The shipping people, the docks, the people that, like where you would get manifests from, places being watched, places that you often frequent.
Well,
and Mark, Mark thinks it's just kind of, what am I supposed to do with this? He's like, what? And you've observed it with others, and next time you're talking to him, he's like, by the way, we got a lot of people slinking around.
Yeah, I gave them myself. I give them my name, so they'll be looking past me. But we don't have time for this. What they're looking for, we're not wrapped up in. They're not going to find anything with us. And if they do, with any of our people, what they're looking for, they can have them. They're not looking for crime. They're not looking for theft. They're looking for conspiracy. They're looking for whoever it was that either overthrew or participated in the overthrowing of our government, and I don't want anything to do with that. What we need to do is shore up business now. I've got an agreement with the Tritons that we will be providing shipping manifests and delivering them ships in return for smooth sailing for our vessels. Now, I want you to put the word out that if anybody wants a safe passage across the sea, they'll need to pay us for it. And then, whoever doesn't will serve to the Tritons. But I think they're going to be looking for particular goods and services, so we'll make sure that we give them the manifest as well so they can choose. We need income, Mark. Now. No more credit.
Yeah.
Gold, goods, favors.
So I could see this taking some time. Like, I think that you and Mark end up getting dragged into a bunch of details about some of these, stuff that we're not going to role play out.
Right.
But
I would just want to honor the Triton agreement.
Yeah, you want
as best as I could, but also profit off of it.
Yeah. No, I see the opportunity, and I agree with you as a DM. Mark sees it. He agrees with you and will help with the heavy lifting. And it's just also going to take a lot of time.
Sure. I just wanted to get the ball rolling and send that in the direction. But I do have to rob Karas. I'll just...
Now, let's see, what was the deal there? I know you stole the keys from his night when the two of you went out to visit the Triton. And I think this was something that you owed Mark.
It says I agreed to help Mark of Silence rob Karas, and I gave him a vial of my blood.
Yes, I didn't forget about that. I thought was more that you were getting the keys for Mark.
Well, I was going to go in because I did want to verify that Karas was not the person undermining me on the council. So I was willing to go in myself. I think we were looking for tangible wealth that I could give to Mark or whatever for use of the vault and also connecting me to the artifacts and all these things. But I was willing to go because I was going to use the opportunity while I was in Karas's house to look.
Yeah. So
nobody crosses me.
Nearly.
Well, are you gonna case it out, first? I mean, we're just gonna sneak in one night?
No.
Try to...
My thought process would be that I'm familiar with the estate. I've been there many times before, and that would give me a leg up on trying to identify the sweet spot of breaking into this place. I also don't think this would be my first go. Like I've robbed places before, even if I'm a little bit out of the habit. Maybe it's something I would do when I get drunk, would be like a B&E, just to stay limber. But I do think I would take this very seriously. Because the thing is, Karas is my inn and represents the most legitimate reason for me to ever be inside the palace. And if he's not undermining me, I need to uphold that relationship. So the last thing I want to do is damage it.
Right.
So I would be very careful about this.
Well, very careful would be to, but go anyway.
Well, yeah.
Very careful, but go
Up
anyway.
to a certain point. The world's falling. Either we're going to have an empire tomorrow or we're not.
Right.
Everything needs to be big.
One thing that so I will agree you've been to his place before. And he has a dog that you are sure is not a normal dog.
Okay.
Like, this is a dog with some fantastical elements as part of this. I mean, like, you're not quite sure what this dog is, but this dog seems is very alert. And, is always seems to be, like when where he needs to be. When you go to see Karis, and he's a very quiet dog. It's not like one that just starts barking randomly. Sure. Different noises. It's like dog seems very intelligent. Mm-hmm. So you're probably thinking about that.
Does the dog ever leave the property?
Not that you know of.
Sure.
He's never. The dog has never gone with Karis as he's gone to the palace or something like that. I mean, he has nights that he takes. So, and he's got. You've probably met knights. I mean, the knights are of noble blood to begin with, right? So, like, if you, so he's got like 6 knights that are.
I think I lifted these keys off of one of them.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did. So he's got like 6 knights that work for him, that are directly. He is their liege directly, right? And I mean, he might have more back home because he's a duke.
Maybe I do have a circle that I could use. I know what all the important people want or need, and I'm usually a bridge in one way or another to get people strange things. I would know someone who supplies exotic animals to rich people.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd want to get in touch with that person to figure out what the hell's going on with this dog. What it actually is, what it can actually do, and based on what I learned, maybe I have some ideas.
Right. Okay. So the great thing about the circles test is that you are obligated to name this NPC.
We'll call them...
Because you're saying it, a point of etiquette is, you say it with confidence. I know this person. And this is how I know this person. Yeah, but you've kind of explained it, right? But
Coolished Matau.
Okay. How do you spell that? Coolished.
Coolisht.
Coolished? Yeah.
Hey, you can't be wrong.
You're also playing around with letters and weird
You can throw in
combinations.
some X's in there. And
Matao.
Mata.
Coolished Matau.
Matau.
If you need an animal that you're not supposed to be able to bring into the city, Coolished is who you talk to.
Oh, illegal animals.
Well,
Or
sometimes.
animals you're not supposed to bring in the city. That sounds like illegal. Or just exotic animals.
I mean, if they happen to be in the city already, nobody
Right.
brought them in.
And then they're just redirected towards a home.
Okay.
It's like being animal control. Doing the streets a favor.
Okay, so this is, I mean, yeah, you said not supposed to be, yeah, I'm going to call this well, is this a smuggler? Is this somebody you know from your smuggling days?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that this...
Because that's part of how the mechanic works is you tie them to one of your life paths,
There was-
ideally. Like, oh, I knew this person because, yeah, we've...
I think it is... Yeah. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay, well, that's great. So we're going to look up the circles.
I need to accrue as many of these relationships as I can because I don't actually want to have to be the person who has to hold on to dangerous animals and sell them to people.
Yeah.
But I do want to
Yeah.
be the person that you ask.
You know people like this.
for that
For
number.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and by the way, if you circle up somebody, there's a fun mechanic to it. If you circle somebody successfully 3 times, they become a relationship.
Okay.
Which gives you access without a roll. Okay, so the base ob is 1, but then there's all sorts of ways there can be penalties. A very specific occupation. That's very unique. That's a +3 penalty. I think it's a similar station. Similar. It's definitely somebody within. It makes sense for what it is, and if you're patient, there's a penalty if you have to see them now. I'm in trouble, and that person happens to walk in the door. You can do that with a circles test.
No, this isn't that.
That's cool.
I have to tread so carefully when it comes to Karas.
Yeah, you take your time. Okay, so there's no penalty. I gotta tell, I was in a game once where my favorite use ever, I saw of a circles test was somebody who was in prison and circled up somebody to be in his prison cell with him.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, hey, fancy seeing you here. Do you have so on 4 is obviously pretty tough, so I'm looking at what things that you could do to help yourself. What is your circles ability? It's probably not great because it's hard to get a high circles.
4.
4, oh, that's not bad. Obviously 4 dice versus ob 4 is pretty hard to get.
Right.
You can, you
not
could
impossible.
probably get someone to help you. Like you have a relationship with Mark,
Right.
right? And he's a smuggler too, and you're looking for another smuggler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think at this point, Mark of Silence is the equivalent of my Nil Bala. I think he's the unofficial chief of staff for me.
Yep.
yeah. So here's a help die from Mark.
Okay. Excellent.
And
Do I get to fork stuff into this?
you don't fork into circles because it's an attribute test,
Okay.
which it's like you can spend persona.
I'd like to do that.
You can spend up to 3, and I always advise never using your last persona because that's how you avoid death.
And I've got the Church of Set breathing down my neck. What part of the character sheet does the persona tally on, typically?
It's
Up here, across from the character index. Or the
Oh,
police.
sweet.
Yeah.
it's usually
I got
here.
3.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going to use 2.
all right.
That's 2 dice for me.
Yeah, and let's use these are different colored,
Okay.
because these will not count against for figuring out how hard was the test and whether or not what sort of test you earned from it.
Okay.
Persona dice don't count.
Okay. So I'm rolling 7 dice. I need to hit 4.
Yep.
It's not impossible.
Okay, so I got to figure out the penalty for failure. Okay, so the penalty for failure in this test will be I like the idea of you knowing this guy and all that stuff. So I'm not going to say, oh, this guy exists for sure,
Okay.
and you have worked with him in the past, and you will find him. If you fail the roll, I could say he doesn't know, but that seems kind of boring.
He tells the guy you're stealing from that you're asking about the dog.
Yeah,
Don't give him ideas.
out of that, but that's also really
That's brutal.
that's pretty brutal. I think it's something more interesting. That's a setback, but not quite that bad of a setback.
I know the tightrope I'm walking with this. This is a dangerous avenue that I know is dangerous. So if it's going to be steep like that, I can live with that.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Well, I think that, he's going to know. Okay, I know what it is. So he is, if you fail the roll, he knows what the animal is. If he fails a roll, he's going to know that there's only one of these animals in town, and it's Karasis. And so you fail the roll, he's going to immediately wonder why. He's going to be suspicious on that account, which is kind of that's like halfway to what Lexi suggested, without being quite that bad. So he'll be in a position to blackmail you or something like that if you
Who isn't at this point?
or want to cut something or
Keep putting yourself out there. It's a dangerous world.
Yep, big leaps.
This one's a 4.
We got a 5, a 5, a 5, a
You
4.
got that 4!
you got the 4 tests. 4. Okay, and you rolled 5 dices. The 2 persona ones don't count, so 5 dice versus 4 is going to be a pretty good test. We should make sure we take a note of that.
Look at you.
5 dice. That's a difficult circles test. You should give yourself credit for that.
Sweet.
Do you remember how to do that? I'll show you. Oh yeah, there you go. So circles is here, so you get a difficult circles test. You just fill in that first bubble, and I would write down that that you circled.
Coolish.
Yeah.
Mattel?
Yeah, and just put 1 tick mark beside him, like you circled him once successfully, and okay. So, yeah, coolish. Where does this guy hang out? He tends to hang out. Like if you go see him, like the place, you happen to know that he often does joins in on hunts out in the Emperor's hunting grounds, which is right in the city, of course.
Well, you don't want to have to travel.
Yeah.
Emperor.
So it's like, it's not like in the center, but it's a little bit out of town, but there's a big hunting ground where it's
Where there just happens to be all kinds of exotic animals.
yeah, and
Coolish.
Coolish
You devil.
likes to. So he'll be there, and there's usually before there's a hunt, there'll be a celebration the night before where everybody shows up and gets drunk and brags about what they're gonna hunt the next day, and it's often, I mean, it's, these things only happen like, once in a while, and since the emperor died, is like the first one that's happened since then. So it's kind of awkward in a way, right? It's like
Everyone's like, but it's in his honor.
yeah. And you pulled some strings to get there, to get invited, but you're a senator, and it's like, so you go to, you sign up for the hunt. Yeah,
Right.
do you like that idea?
Yes.
You just sign up for the hunt?
I'll sign up for the hunt. I'll go to the pre-party. Whether or not I go on the hunt, that's a different story.
Okay.
Oh, drank too much, can't do it. Oh no.
Hungover, slept in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see Coolish at this. It's kind of like there's a big feast and
Sure. Like at a lodge.
yeah,
or
like a
something.
lodge. It's a hunting lodge.
His antlers and all my decorating.
Yeah.
But like crazy dragon antlers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd find Coolish when he's alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Coolish.
Televan. Hey, haven't seen you in a while.
It's been some time. Busy.
Yeah, it's enjoying the straight life.
As much as I can. And you?
The business is great.
Yes.
The economy sucks.
Well, yeah.
Must can't do business in credit anymore.
No, you can't.
So I hunting. I don't. I don't remember you going on a hunt before. Have you been on a hunt? I just don't remember. Was I?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, What are you doing here?
Funny you'd ask. Foolish. I must be getting home soon. I think I'm coming down with something that's going to impede on my ability to hunt tomorrow. But before I go, I would like to have a little chat with you.
Yeah, sure. Just leans in conspiratorially.
Anybody who needs anything, well, there's only a few people in town they can go to, and when it comes to beasts of unusual properties, you are the person to see.
I try to control that market. True.
I brought my purse with me. I was hoping I might be able to talk you into some, well, with everyone buckling down, making sure that they're securing their assets. I thought I might need a little bit of help. I am good friends with Consul Karras. You know that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes, of course. He's Pert.
Yes, indeed. He happens to have a hound, which helps him keep an eye on things, and I was thinking of getting one myself. Any chance you could, well, that you have one lying around?
The Spiritu. The Spiritu dogs. Those are, yeah, quite handy.
Infallible.
Infallible?
Impossible to sneak around. That's what he tells me, anyway.
Pretty much. The real gift is seeing into other dimensions and into other planes, parallel planes of existence.
Sure.
They can gaze and yeah. So they guard not just their physical environments, but the supernatural environments.
Okay. Now, you see, I don't know that I have to worry so much about that. The people coming after me tend to have hands and feet and little knives tucked in their pockets. Now, what does that mean for the supernatural ability? Does that have anything to do with catching somebody sneaking around in the house? If they're just Sneaking?
I don't know that they're better than a normal dog for that.
Okay.
I mean, dogs are pretty good anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're a dog. You know, they're a dog, but they have this ability to see into other and sense into other planes and dimensions.
Okay, so they walk like a dog and they think like a dog. They're not necessarily more intelligent than your average dog.
No.
They just have this one extra ability to protect you from, what, magical intrusion?
Yeah. Somebody coming in, somebody drifting on through the ethereal plane and getting, coming into your home and then coming into the prime material plane, or, popping in off the astral.
Sure.
Plane shifting from hell.
Like I said, I don't think I have that much to worry about. Now, I wanted one of these because I don't like Karas having something I don't. And it does seem like quite a status symbol. Expensive?
Oh, yeah. They're, pretty expensive. But, I mean, I could get you one. I mean, as long as you don't need it tomorrow.
I'm not in a
I don't
hurry.
have one in stock.
Sure.
I'd have to get one.
What do they eat?
Meat.
Just dog stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty much like a normal dog otherwise.
What did Karas want one of these for?
Well, it's pretty smart. I mean, magical. If you can have, if you've got guards to protect you from the day-to-day stuff.
Sure.
And something like that to protect you from supernatural stuff, seems like it makes sense to me.
It's just so specific. I wouldn't want to enter into something like this without having a reason in mind. Did he happen to say?
I didn't sell him the dog. He brought it with him from Perrin. It's part of his birthright or something.
What does that even mean?
Well, he's a noble. These dogs are pert dogs. They're for nobility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take one.
All right. I'll get you one.
Excellent.
Yeah. It'll be a few weeks. I gotta, special
I understand
order it.
supply lines are not
Yeah.
what they used to be.
But still, it's an overseas trip.
Well, it just so happens that if you're looking to get a ship overseas, I might be the one to talk to, but tell you something. Why don't I make sure your boats get through?
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys work out a deal.
Good for me.
Good.
I think I discovered how to get around the dog.
You're gonna give it food.
Don't slip in on the shadow plane.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're not popping in from hell.
But what if I do?
And the dog's gonna get you.
It's after night. Is there anything you want to take care of real quick before we
I
go?
actually feel really good about where she's
Good.
landed. Like we got to
Good.
talk to Zune, and yeah,
All right.
feeling
This seems like a good time to wind up then, because I know you also like to get out of here by 9:30. So
gotta pick up the kids.
I know, yeah. Come on.
Their bedtime is 8 p.m. and they are still awake.
Hey, that's a Wednesday night.
Yeah. It's fun.
All right. Well, let's do ARDA awards, and at the end of our usual wrap-up situation here, ARDA and Burning Wheel. Here we go. All right. So looking at beliefs, Televan.
Yeah.
You did bring up that you're trying to figure out this whole thing with Karas is that you suspect he's the one that's been undermining you in Sarah. So you haven't resolved that, but you worked on it. You're working on getting an audience with Set.
And I got a name
Got a name.
A name.
of the psionic interrogator.
Oh, yeah. And you got the name of the song. Okay, so that's 3 fate. Okay. For you, Farina,
I feel like I just got the one working to stop car because I feel like the work that she's doing to like kind of be like, hey, like she's trying to make sure that he votes the same way she does, like she's working to get someone on there that isn't this guy.
Right.
And then I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like with everything going on, although these other two beliefs of hers like are still goals she has, I feel like they're just not, they don't feel super relevant in the middle of the chaos of the Emperor being dead. So I think by next session I might adjust those.
Yeah, I think we want to think of it, they're too esoterical, really, to be honest. Having something that is, well, the one about changing fines, I mean, that's a very specific thing that you can do in the form of your position as consul of the penal code.
I think I might focus on that next session.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you get one fate.
Yay.
Do either of you have any traits or instincts that created a complication for you or changed the direction of the story? I don't remember it coming up.
If it changed the direction of the story, but because he was trying to get something out of me, and my poker face trait kind of affected what he was getting at.
Yeah. So that's you benefiting from the trait for what it is. The Arda award comes from it's more like, oh, this trait got me in trouble sort of thing. Or this trait like, oh, this really changed things.
You wouldn't put on the bracers and you didn't want to be Emperor.
Yeah, I guess because that would probably come from Zealot her Zealot. Zealot. I can pronounce things. That's true. Not putting on the bracers. That's
yeah. See, now that feels like your trait getting in the way of.
That's true. I was very vocal about that on the break. Actually, about how frustrated I was because I want to do all those things.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. Okay.
Thank you.
It's only because I wanted you to put on the bracers.
I know. I wanted to.
So you get a fate for Zealot.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, so we each can give another player a moment of gratitude. You each only have one person to choose from.
I mean, it's so easy, like literally the way you navigate any conversation at all, but I am still just obsessed with the way you just dropped on her, like, why don't you be Emperor? Like, that was just so... Because it was that perfect combination of, like, it surprised me, but it also made sense in the moment. It was like, It was not like, oh, a surprise and it came out of nowhere and what? It was like, that surprised me, but oh my God, I see where your character got there. That was beautiful.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, thank you. Obviously, I'm trying to play every single angle at all times. You are impossible to get ahead of. You are so careful. Not to a fault, like to a success. And so, yeah, like it makes it so I am having to think as fast as possible at all times.
Honestly, right back at you. It's good. It's real good. I like feel like my brain is tired, like in a good way. Like this took effort. It's like playing chess.
3-dimensional chess.
Yeah.
Yes, and I get to award a persona, and I'm going to award one to you.
Thank you.
I think just the interactions you had with the various NPCs around you was very excellent role playing with Holsan, with Zune, with Neil Baala.
Daughter.
And daughter. I love daughter so much.
I think that your role playing with them brought them to life for me.
Thank you.
So anyway, you both get a persona for you get 2, you get 1. Yes.
And
I've been spending mine.
And I know you can't do anything with persona, but Peter, thank you so much for keeping track of all of those NPCs and being able to go back and forth with us and helping us make our stories intertwine, because we are on 2 very different ends of this spectrum, but it actually came together really well tonight, which is cool.
You're the us's of the metagame.
Yes, literally, actually, though.
Master weavers, strategists.
You're playing chess against yourself.
Well, I love this story. I love this story.
good.
I can't lie. All right, so that is our art awards for tonight, and we have our. If you'd like to reintroduce yourself to our audience, and if there's anything you'd like to promote, anything where you can be found on the internet or projects you're involved in, anything like that, feel free to do so. So start with you.
I'm Jesse Keeter. I love playing this game, especially with these two. I got a website at jesseleekeeter.com. If I got cool stuff, that's where you find it.
Hi, I am Lexi the First. You can find me across social media under Lexi the First. You can find me here a lot. I think I've actually got kind of a stretch of a break with Gen Con and everything, but I will be back afterwards. And thanks for being here.
Yeah. And I am Peter Atkinson Heathe. I'm your host of whatever this is, Actoroke. I'm a little tired already, and I got a toothache.
Let me get that for you.
I got to go to the dentist in the morning. It's like,
no.
oh, I know. And going to the dentist when you have a toothache, you know that's just
Yeah,
not
it's gonna
going to
be bad.
end well at all. It's just it's going to be horrible. Oh well, it'll be bright and early at 7 a.m. I'll be back at work by noon, I'm sure.
Let's get to get it over with early.
So this is Gen Con TV. We have a bunch of shows on Gen Con TV. We have on Thursday, tomorrow, 10 a.m. we will have Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a great show. Social deduction. It's like Werewolf or Mafia, but on steroids. It is a crazy, crazy good show. It's one of our best. And at 4 p.m., Roll with Rem Alternus, Shadowrun, two of our best shows next week on Gen Con TV. Friday, we have Table Takes at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and at 5 p.m., Sarah's Table. Even though Sarah's on vacation, she's going to be here doing her RPG. I think it's going to be, I don't remember what she's running this week, but what's that?
The Crown?
The Crown. Okay, she's running The Crown. Excellent.
a
Who's
great
by
game.
our good friend Damon Van He, who is here. Well, he'll be with us in the next game as Feldspar. That's right. And then Monday, 9 a.m., I have Peter versus Machine. And and Saturday, we have our last episode of celebrating 50 years of Dungeons & Dragons with an episode about 5th edition D&D. And we're going to have the lead designer, Mike Merles, one of their designers, Rodney Thompson, and we're going to have several of our streamers that, let's see, David Van He,
Bryce is here for that one.
Bebop, and Megan Carey Nasser are all going to be here, and we'll be at this table, and we're going to talk about 5e, and then and how it started, like how it got behind the scenes, how it got going, people's experiences with 5e, and then we're going to play it. That's going to be here. And then Monday, back with me, Peter vs. Machine, 6 p.m. is Dress to Quest. And then Indie by Night is Tuesday night. And then a week from today, we're back here, Path of the Brush, and I think Actoroke. Well, it's Actoroke night. Maybe it'll be an Actoroke